Episode 47, The Couch Show. We're your hosts. Welcome back to the channel. Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray.
Uh, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show today. We're both like tired. I had a barbecue yesterday. Ray came over, celebrated the 4th, had an amazing fireworks show.
Oh, I forgot my joke. I was gonna be like, "Damn, Lynn, long time no see. It's been like less than 12 hours since the last time they saw you. You were in sunny DR.
It's very true. That's true. So I'm back home.
Sunny
I'm back in the
DR.
States, back in New York.
Sunny DR.
Guys,
How was your
I
trip?
almost didn't come on today, so that's why I'm still in bed.
How was your yeah, How was your trip?
Trip was amazing. The trip was oh my god, it was so hot over there. It was like a sticky hot too. Like even if you got in the pool, 10 minutes later, like you just felt sticky again.
Oh, I hate that.
Um,
It was like that the other day here.
yeah, that's what I heard. That we had a heat wave here. I missed it.
Ugh, I hate it like that. I don't mind the heat. It's when it's humid.
Yes. Yeah.
Humid.
Because I
I
love
like
it. I love going to the
humidity.
Caribbean. I love the hot weather, but DR was something different. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I mean, I went to DR, I think like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. But I don't remember it being so sticky.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was really hot. Had a great time. You guys
Is it
saw
because of
the house.
the season that you went? Was
Well,
it
the last
season
time
of
I
the
went was in
sticky?
August, so this time was a little earlier. I went late June.
Oh, season of the sticky,
Yeah,
sticky icky.
I did have some sticky icky with me. Made sure I finished it all before I flew back.
You brought it, or you just found a dealer over there?
I brought it over, but I'll never like leave a country with it. Like I don't
Mm,
mind leaving the US with it because you're still, stateside. And if you get caught, if there's any kind of repercussions, it's like I'm still home. I'm still in
hmm.
the US. Whereas if
Right.
I get caught, through customs trying to leave another country, like we've all seen the show Locked Up Abroad. I don't want no, thank you. No,
I've
thank you.
never seen that show.
You haven't seen that show? Oh my
No,
god, it's just people, trying to do stupid shit in other countries and they get caught and they get like 8 years for something that they should have gotten a ticket for. Like
that's
and
crazy.
they're just like over there, like like their jails aren't like the jails over here.
Mm.
Yeah,
S- Speaking of getting caught in abroad, you heard about that basketball player who's in Russia right now?
is she still over there?
Yeah,
That's crazy. She had a
he
vape
got his
pen,
ass
right?
locked up. Huh?
She had like a vape or something, right?
I don't know what she had, but I'm happy for it. I'm like, that's what you get, karma.
Damn,
It's like,
damn.
look,
Why you
you were
say?
taking a knee, you hated on the US, and now that you're getting in trouble, now you want the US to bail you out. I don't understand people. It's just maybe don't hate on the US.
Damn, I guess I don't have the full story.
I'll tell you what though, Trump went hard for ASAP, right? Remember
Hmm.
ASAP Rocky? It was like in Sweden or whatever, and he
Hmm.
got in trouble. And Trump was like, "We're gonna mess up all trades. You release our ASAP." He got ASAP back. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Damn,
Nah,
no,
you know
I guess
what?
I didn't read too much into the basketball player. I just heard about it like through passing that like it was at the airport. They
It
pulled her
was a
bag,
stupid
they found
reason.
stuff, and
Yeah,
they were like, "Hey, we're detaining you." Whew,
it was a stupid
16
reason. I think she
years.
learned her lesson. I think she got her karma, and now you know what? Bring her home. I'm for that.
Yeah,
I think she did her time. Bring her home.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like when you get locked up abroad, that's it. You're stuck over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
unless Trump is in office, like I said, he got ASAP out. I love it because that's just how he would negotiate like everything. He would just be
Mhm.
like, "That's it. We're not trading with you no more." Like every negotiations, he would just come in. We're not trading anymore.
Jeez.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy
Oh
because I
man,
really don't follow like politics like that to know, like the president's strategy and all that.
I say it jokingly, but I don't really follow it that way either. It's just that's what I see from like all the memes. He's just like, no more Trey. Mm.
Headline, you and your headline news.
Oh, I got a bunch of them. It's been popping. So did you hear now they're trying to say that on January 6th, Trump tried like grabbing a steering wheel from the Secret Service to like turn the car around to go to the Capitol.
What?
I'm like,
Why are
is
we
he?
still talking about these things? It's so ridiculous.
Well, somebody's like right now she's under oath and she's testifying at the
Hmm.
January 6th committee. Which, mind you, this is like a witch hunt, right? So nobody's going there because it's like one-sided questions. It's just a publicized witch hunt at this
Hmm.
point. And I think it's funny because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hold up. I mean, I've seen the limo, right? Like the big. I mean, it's not your typical limo. It's like a big, bulky, um, because it's padded for to be bulletproof and
Hmm.
all that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how the hell did he? I mean, you've been in a limo before, right?
Hmm.
How the hell he reached the steering wheel? I
Right.
mean, there's that partition in front of you. So
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to say she's lying or anything, but to me, it sounds a little far fetched. But
Hmm.
mm,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, I'm like, how the hell are you grabbing that steering wheel?
I mean, I have met a person or two in my lifetime who would grab a steering wheel of a moving vehicle. So I don't know. Could have happened.
Who's that? Your mother?
No, I have not seen my grab a steering wheel while somebody's driving.
Mom does that thing where for the littlest thing she screams in the car. And that's just like the worst thing when you're driving. It's like
Yeah.
you're like, and I tell her, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? I'm like looking for the guy over here. I'm looking for the guy over there. I'm looking for the crazy guy jumping in front of the car. And like you're just randomly screaming to throw me off.
Yeah, and then it heightens your senses, and it also distracts you.
Do you know when? Like, can you remember when Ma all of a sudden started screaming for everything? Like last night, she was just screaming like crazy with all the fireworks going off. I'm like, I'm like, that's like, like how a dog will like be barking and all
Hmm.
that stuff. Like my thing is just a scream now. Like, do you know when she started doing this?
Oh, did you notice when it started?
No, I have
I
no
think it's just
idea.
it
I
just I don't,
just
it may have
now it's like
progressed over the
heightened.
years. Yeah, it may have
Yeah, it's like
progressed over the
now
years.
heightened, and I'm like, geez. I'm like, man, I have no idea when it started. But it's something that's like,
People are trying to call me while I'm live. Don't be doing that.
yeah, don't do that. You're gonna interrupt the feed.
3 missed calls.
Oh shit! I'll be right back. Give me a.
All right.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Sent the message.
And I still
Technology is so
fainted.
amazing,
Jeez.
man. Like I'm streaming through my phone and I'm texting my daughter with my watch. Like, I don't know. Technology always amazes me. We're
It's
just
dope,
capable of
right?
doing so many different things.
It's dope, but now your like digital leash is getting smaller
That's true.
because now it's on your wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you try to get away from your phone, it's like, hey,
Yep.
where were you? I couldn't find you for 2.7 seconds. Yeah. Did you hear there was another mass shooting last night?
I did not. Where?
4th of July shooting. It was a, I guess it was a 4th of July parade, and somebody started going off.
What state?
I want to say Ohio.
Hmm. Hey, fun. Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back.
I want to say it was Ohio, but let me look it up real quick since I brought it up. Yeah, there was like a manhunt, and I was seeing the pop ups yesterday um, at your house. We were eating and playing dominoes. The pop ups kept coming up
Hmm.
that they were looking for the guy. Like it was an
Hey,
all out
Chi,
manhunt.
how's it going? Cheese in the comments, Chi Chi.
It was Illinois where the shooting took place.
I don't even think Ray heard me. Did you even hear what I said,
Hi,
Ray?
cuz! I saw the comments now. Hi,
Okay, okay.
cuz! Welcome to our show. Live streaming. Yeah, so there was a shooting last night, and the guy, I mean, he looked deranged. It's like I don't know why we're not having this conversation where it's like, look, these people look like they're mentally ill. Like maybe we should start flagging people who have tendencies because these guys are not quiet. They're
Hmm.
posting on like social media. Like instead of going after these gun laws, let's start addressing the real issue. The mental issue of people who can't um see the difference between what somebody's saying and then actually taking action where it's like, hey, you crossed the line from protesting to now shooting up, mass people.
Hmm.
Oh shoot, there's
Yeah, so Chi Chi said he
comment.
definitely looked mentally
He
ill.
definitely looked mentally ill, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's like you go and a guy could, let's for example, this guy, right? This guy, he went and shot up. But what if he just took a car and started running people over with his car? Are
Hmm.
you now gonna pass stringent car laws?
Right.
Are you gonna be like, oh, cars can only be used, and oh, certain cars and all this? Like, I don't understand that. Like, why is like, how do we connect? Like, okay, he used a gun to shoot people, but why not say, hey, look, it's not the gun, it's the individual. Let's start addressing and red flagging, individuals like this.
Yeah. I mean, and that's hard because they're already, we've already given up so many of our rights, on the guise of, oh, national security, and like our cell phones
Right.
are being like listened to, our messages are being
Privacy, yep.
intercepted.
Nine
So,
eleven, yep.
so if they already have
Privacy, we lost all our
all this
privacy.
access, how is it that they're not, getting ahead of these things? How are they not finding the people who are, terrorists, the people they're supposed to be looking for?
Well, here's another. So the thing is like, okay, so yeah, they're listening. They have all this information, but think about how much information they're getting,
Hmm.
right? And trust me, in my job, it was just like that. We were getting all the logs from all the internet traffic that was coming in,
Hmm.
day to day work, and we were barely. I mean, we were collecting it, but we were like actually going in and looking through it.
Right.
So it wasn't until somebody raised the alarm at a higher level saying, hey, there's a potential threat that's going on. Somebody's going outside or somebody's doing something like this, right?
Hmm.
Downloading something that they shouldn't be downloading. That's when we actually went back to the logs and went back and found, okay, we could see it in the logs, right? So there
Gotcha.
wasn't somebody actively watching these logs. And I could totally get it. Like you're getting all this privacy data, right?
Hmm.
But
It's
who's
a lot.
actually watching all this stuff? Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot to
it's a
go
lot.
through.
It's a lot of data to go through. Like you think about your
Yeah.
own individual usage, like,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the month when you get your bill, sometimes it tells you like how many text messages you've actually sent. Like it's in
Right.
the thousands.
Have you seen that?
It's
Yeah.
like tens of
Or
thousands. Like holy crap, I sent that many messages.
even worse is now most of us we're on unlimited data, right? So when
Hmm.
you go look at the data and you're like 10 gigs and you're like, holy,
Yeah.
I've been on Wi-Fi. How did I use 10 gigs?
Yeah.
So it's like there is a lot of data being produced from our phones. So I think it goes to more of we got to start talking to people who are in these chat rooms in social media, people like me and you,
Hmm.
and say, hey, look, when somebody starts talking about like something like this, you might want to call this number. It may
Mm.
be a false flag, but it may be something that could prevent what happened
A
yesterday.
tragedy. Yeah.
So
Another
it
unnecessary
goes
tragedy. Because when you
right.
look
It
at
goes
it,
to
other
us. We
countries
gotta start
aren't dealing with
policing.
this. Like the number of mass shootings that we have here in the US, it's sickening. It's sickening.
Hmm.
It's not happening
Hmm.
anywhere around the world, but here.
Right. 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 So, oh
Yeah.
man,
So teacher
the
said,
comments.
guns aren't the problem. Certain people with guns are the problem.
Yes, I
You know?
agree. I
New York
agree.
City has no jobs. No job policy is dumb. Unvaccinated New Yorkers can't celebrate their independence this July 4th.
Well, you know what? 4th of July is supposed to be about us being breaking the rules, right? That's what the whole Revolutionary War was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a clip back in 2020 when the pandemic started, right? And what was it? Governor Newsom in California, he was like, cancel all fireworks. He was like, you're gonna get a fine of like $25,000. And then
Mm-hmm.
here, the next clip was here's a news helicopter flying over Cali and just fireworks popping off everywhere. Oh,
Everywhere.
it was just so beautiful.
Everywhere.
And
Yeah.
that is the beauty of us as people. We have that rebel spirit, and we got to
Mm-hmm.
just guide that rebel spirit to something more positive. That's
Right.
where I feel like this channel is all about. It's like if we think outside the box and we see things differently, it's our time for us to start taking back our culture, social media, just taking
Mm-hmm.
back media, taking back everything. It's like we dictate that. Not only we dictate that with our wallets too. You got to understand that. Like all
Yeah.
this stuff that's being consumed, it generates money. So if we're making the money, let's get the things we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Governor, yeah, cause Governor Newsom is the worst, and the rumor is that he's gonna run for president. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
please
gee.
do right now, please do, because right now, like I said, I'm not rooting for Trump. Look, I was a fan of Trump, but I get it. He's too polarized, right? A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people are just gonna remember that, and they're just gonna vote for a potato, just as long as it's not Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's better options, and I think right now DeSantis in Florida, he's a real good option. And the reason why he's a good option is because he's listening to the people. He's listening
Mm-hmm.
to the people in Florida, and he's like, "Yo, this is what you guys are. This is what you guys want. This is what we're gonna do." And I feel like the more politicians get back to their roots and say, "Hey, look, you elected me to do something,"
Mm-hmm.
like actually do their job and not keep pandering to what they think makes money, we're gonna see a dynamic shift.
Yeah. But I said, did you see the protester get body slammed by the nation's hot dog eating champ?
No, no,
Oh,
I
what?
didn't see that. That sounds hilarious.
Right?
So I'm guessing we have a new Nathan's hot dog champ because the last one I saw, he was a skinny little dude. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, how are you such a skinny dude and you can eat so much hot dogs?
No, and they just hot dogs just disappear, man. What?
Because I
Yo,
think,
these people, those
yo,
eating contests in general, like the people who eat, they just go around the country. They have like vlogs now, and like they're just doing all the
mhm,
challenges. Like, how? Where are you putting all that food? Where is it
yeah,
going?
yeah. And I'm like, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, I see it. Like, yesterday, I think I ate like 2 cheeseburgers and a hot dog. I was like, I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed. Because that was like as soon as I walked into your house, I showed up fashionably late, so everybody was there. The
Hmm.
party was still started, right? I was
Yeah.
like, oh, the party's here, and I'm walking in, and the first thing mom's like, you want to eat? You want me to make you a plate? And then you were like, hey, you need me to make you a plate? I'm like, no, no, no,
Huh?
it's all good. I just got here. Let me get settled in. And so then I went over by the grill, and of course, me being the carnivore that I am, I was drawn to like the steak and the burger and the hot
Mhm.
dog. And before I know it, I was like, oh shit, I'm full. And everybody's like, yo, try the pasta salad. And I'm like, I'm full. I can't. Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Cousin, and I think that's you're 100% right. I really do think that there's a shift in right now in politics and really just society overall. I really do think that people are going to start voting red. And it's funny because this morning I watched this video, and the video I'm gonna give a shout out to the guy on YouTube because he did a really good job on this video. The video was like 30 minutes,
Hmm.
and the name of the video was how Dave Chappelle predicted the collapse of Roe v. Wade, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna butcher it because he went through it. He went through it as far as like how, in his comedy sketch, like from 3 years ago, he went through and he went, he attacked the Me Too movement, right,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the alphabet community, which I'm not even calling them the alphabet community anymore. I'm calling them the Sesame Street gang because now they're going after kids. But he went through and he said like how, to summarize the 30-minute video, this guy broke down Dave Chappelle's comedy. He said, they're going a little too far with their message. When their message was something of, hey, look, we live in this world and we want to be accepted, you had people's empathy coming in and saying, I agree with that message.
Mm-hmm.
But then they took the message a little too far to the point where it's now do as we say or we're going to cancel you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're seeing now is the backlash to cancel culture, which in the most extreme form is what we just saw with the Supreme Court, where they were like, hey, you know what, Roe v. Wade, let's take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that whole like, look, you're gonna hate us anyway. So now we're gonna change it into, we're gonna do this dynamic shift so that kind of like almost to kind of like shut this whole like cancel culture up. And if that makes any sense, like I said, I'm gonna butcher it because I'm trying to summarize it in like 30 seconds from a 30-minute video where he
Mm-hmm.
really analyzed it. He really broke it down, and I was like, wow, that really makes sense. Because like I'll be honest, in about like what was it, like about 5 years ago, I was pro everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, right here, rights for everybody. I think you're the same way, and I don't know if you've been changing whatnot with how things are developing, within the last few years. But I was like, yeah, I was like super on the left side. But
Mm-hmm.
now the left got too radical for me, and now I'm in the middle, which being in the middle pushes you to the far right now.
Right. Right. Because there is no gray anymore. It's black or white.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're this one or you're that one, and that's it. There's no middle.
Right.
Um. No. Crap. Where the hell is my mind going with that one? Um. No middle. Left. Right. Yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say. Damn.
But what I was gonna say is, as far as all that, if there is a backlash to this whole cancel culture that's going on right now,
Mm-hmm.
me honestly, I'd rather have this open discussion than have something extreme where what's the next, Supreme Court decision? They're gonna overrule that, gay marriage. Are they gonna ban gay marriage or something like that? I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see things happening to that extreme. I want us to have that discussion.
Right.
Like we had a open discussion about abortion, and we were like, well, you know what? Abortion within the first trimester is okay.
Right.
Because it's like, all right, you found yourself in this predicament. Hey, but these late term abortions that, these blue states are trying to push, like,
Mm-hmm.
if you have two heartbeats, that's not normal, right? You can't say that's my body when you have two heartbeats, 20 fingers and 20 toes. That's
Mm-hmm.
not normal. So I do want to have more of these discussions because I do think that it's going to bring more people into the middle.
Yeah.
Because I started doing that on Facebook, and I know everybody's going in at me, but I just put the
I
next
was
line
really
is logical, very
disappointed.
logical.
I was really disappointed with a video that Candace Owens released. And it was a
Uh-huh.
short, she was just like talking with us. But I felt like she was trying too hard to be part of the conversation of abortion. And she made the connection. She was like, oh, I'm due in 2 weeks. So she's having a little
Mm-hmm.
girl, she's at the end of her pregnancy. Baby's coming any day, basically, if she's 2 weeks due.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she was like, oh, she's like, I don't know how somebody can say like that this isn't a life, yada yada. And it's like, but that's not what we're saying. At 8 months
Mm-hmm.
pregnant, when you're 2 weeks left to go, like that is a life.
Right,
So that has something to do with abortion. Like I felt like
right,
she just did too much. And that's what people are doing. They want they want to be part of something so bad that they're latching on to whatever movement, whatever, headline they feel like resonates with them. And what we're
right,
really missing is that as a nation, we don't have values.
right,
Where are
right.
our
Exactly. I 100%
values?
agree. I 100% agree, and that's one of the things that I keep harping on is that as a society, we so all of a sudden, it's not all of a sudden, it's been around for a minute, but we
Mhm.
are so over sexualized. I don't
Yes.
understand why we put so much emphasis to sex to the
Mhm.
point where it's like everywhere. It's in your
Yep.
face. It's in our kids'
Music,
face. It's like
movies,
our
our
kids
kids'
can't even be kids.
cartoons. Mhm.
Right. It's our kids can't even be kids right now because it's in their face. And it's
Yep.
like once again, you know, going to Cuzzo's comment down below, she
Mhm.
wrote, "It's gone too far," is what's happened, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And so now, when people try to have these discussions, it's always about these super hyper, like far extreme, not even in the middle of the road conversation.
Mhm.
Like you said, Candace Owens, I know she's on the right, so she's going to be like, "Oh, how can you abort at like 8 months?" Right?
Right.
She's taking it to the extreme when you're clearly you got life in you, right?
Right.
Where then, the argument on the left is like, "Oh, what about rape and incest? What about rape and incest?"
Mhm.
Where there are people, unfortunately, as disgusting as that is, there are people on this planet who are a product of that and are, I guarantee it, enjoy being alive.
Right.
Right? If they're a
Right.
product of it, and not only are they alive, but they went ahead and had kids. Their kids went ahead and had kids, right?
Mhm.
So it's like generations that if that mindset was really like, oh my God, if that was the first recourse to that disgusting act, right?
Mhm.
You're still killing a generation. You're still killing a lineage. You're still killing a line, right?
Mhm.
So either or, they're both on the extreme, and we got to bring the conversation back into the middle,
Yeah.
right? And that goes back to everything. It's like, the conversation of what you do in your bedroom. Like, I
Mhm.
don't care. I really don't care. You can do whatever you want in your bedroom, but keep it in your bedroom. Why are you bringing that out into Main Street?
Right.
On Main Street, where now little kids are walking by and you're like, hey, this is what I want to do in my bedroom.
Mhm.
It's like, I think we, as Americans, and as a society, we got to kind of calm down a little bit. And
Yes.
we gotta have we gotta kind of have these conversations that it's like everything's over polarized at this point,
Yeah.
and I don't get it. I really don't.
Well, I mean, why do I keep losing my thoughts? What the hell?
Because I'm throwing a lot. So listen, cut me
Oh
off
my
because you know
god!
me. I go on my rants. I'm ranting. I'm ranting. I gotta get
Damn,
my
man.
water. Combining. But it's really like I wish as a society we would just take a step back because it really feels like look at yesterday. Like I feel like we're on the verge of a civil war if we're not already in one through
Mhm.
social media.
Right.
And I feel like this all could be avoided if we just talk through our differences. Let's just have that conversation
You know what it
because
is? Our the liberties that we've been given, without having the values like set where like we know like as a society like what our values are, people are just they're becoming entitled, and that
yes,
that's what I see as
nailed
I
it on the
travel
head.
around the world. Like Americans
Yes,
are entitled, and
we are.
it's entitled in a disgusting way.
We're
Like
spoiled.
we should have a sense of entitlement because yes, we are, one of the leading countries, okay, but you have to stay humble, and that's what we've
Hmm.
lost. We're not humble.
No, we're not. We're
There's
spoiled.
a sense of entitlement that's
Hmm.
a really just negative and heavy and stupid.
Yeah.
It's freaking stupid. Like,
And you see that
come on.
entitlement, take that entitlement, and now you see that in dating, you see that in
Mhm.
our marriages, you see that in families, you see
In
like
parenting, yeah.
yeah, and parenting, and just everything. And it's just that entitlement, that sense of self and selfishness is
Hmm.
what's causing the dating to be horrible, marriages to be horrible, family values to be horrible, just everything in general just to be horrible. Because why? We are social creatures and we need to work together.
Hmm.
We got to be part of a community. We got to be part of a family. You can't just be about yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a big opponent of saying love yourself first before you get into anything. Love yourself first. But
Yeah.
you also got to know that at some point, you got to start thinking about we.
Yeah.
And I feel a
Self-love
lot of
isn't the
people.
same as selfish.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yes.
Tadashi
Yo,
popped in. Hey, how's it
Tadashi, what
going?
up, man? Welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
How's your
Back
training going?
stateside.
I've been training too. I've been going in. I've been brushing up my skills. Like Lynn said, she was like, "Yo, why don't you do some freelance work?" And I was like, "I think I'll do that." So I've been brushing
Yeah.
up my
Order
skills, and
time, create a schedule, have a routine.
yeah, that's what I need because I wake up every
Yeah,
morning. I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing
exactly.
today?"
But asked you, Ray, if you saw the viral video, baby daddy for buying McDonald's for his son, but not her other three kids.
No, I didn't see that.
You ever
That's
seen the
heartbreaking.
video?
I wouldn't do
Oh,
that.
that right there
Listen.
is crazy to me. Like just thinking about it, like I have three children and
Mhm.
two fathers. So if one of the dads buys something for just their kid, that shit pisses
Right.
me off. It pisses
So
me
let me
off
ask you that. Let me
because
ask you
kids,
that. Have
at the
you?
end of the day, kids are innocent.
Yes.
Okay, kids don't understand the difference between like adult shit. So
Yes.
leave that adult stuff, that pettiness for something else. But when
Hmm.
it comes to the kids, like just take care of the kids. If you're
Yes.
gonna buy McDonald's for
Now,
one, buy McDonald's for all of them. What's it gonna cost you? $25?
I'll
So
say this right
spend
now
that money.
for my fellas out there, do not date single mothers. I'm just gonna throw it out there because they are toxic in
Just
today's day and
ask.
age. We did say that they are selfish, and look, it's not for your mental state of mind to just try to avoid it. However, if you do step into that role, know that there is father figures are a rarity in our society
Mhm.
nowadays. So if you step into that role, be a big man and be that father figure. I
Yeah,
don't think I could ever do something like that. Like I have two step boys, and even after our marriage was all said and done, those are my boys. I love them,
yeah.
and I am going to treat them right because I know that I'm like the only male. Whatever it may be, I'm the only male figure that they can look up to and guide them into being a man.
Yeah.
So if you put yourself around that, right, know that that comes with the baggage of dating a single mother, right? Now, once again, the reason why I say don't date the single mother is because nowadays father's still in the picture, right? And um, because of the whole selfishness and entitlement, what you put in that effort that you're putting in is not going to be recognized.
Mhm.
So for you to step into a virtuous, oh my God, I'm stepping in to take care of her and her kid, you know, it's not going to turn out well. I'm sorry. It's maybe if it was a different society, and if you want to do that like in Latin America, somewhere else, where it's appreciated more. That's the word I'm looking for. If it's appreciated more,
Mhm.
right? Then yeah, by all means, step into that. If you have the means, cool. But in this day and age, you're doomed to fail. Lynn, comment. You're a single mother. Comment.
So
It's
as a
my
single
opinion. This is
mom,
my opinion. That's all I'm saying. It's my opinion.
yeah, no, as a single mom, it's actually really difficult to date because the fact is you do have children and your children,
Mm-hmm.
whoever you're dating, your children are dating too. They have that
Yes.
relationship and they're going to,
Yes.
build those bonds. And it sucks because relationships do fail. So, when you go through a breakup, your children are also going through an emotional, time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just you. It's really hard to date as a single parent. And you know,
Especially if you have sons,
mhm,
because that's what mothers don't understand. Like a son is going to bond with that man
mhm,
if you let him, right? And that's going to be a bond that the mother's not going to understand. And
mhm,
like no disrespect to the single mothers out there. Listen, I love you guys because you are stepping up. You are taking charge. But like we always said on this channel, a kid needs both mom and dad. They need that dynamic. They need that masculine energy and they need that feminine energy, right?
mhm.
So, you as a mother, you can't teach your son how to be a man,
Right,
right? You could teach
right.
him
I agree with
about
that. I've never been a
the
man.
man you
Shit.
want. You could say like, "Oh, be like this because that's your dream man," but you got to realize, what you want is not who he's gonna become, right?
Mhm,
Like he has to go through that development. He has to go through that killing of the boy to become a man.
mhm.
So,
And honestly, with a lot of people, it happens later in life, especially with men. Like Men
Mm-hmm.
just mature differently than women do.
Right.
Um and like I've seen that shift in men. I've seen people who like they still have that little boy energy, in their
Mm-hmm.
20s, and then finally it kind of like comes together, and suddenly like it's somebody who you could be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, hang on, checking my notifications here.
It's all right. I see your finger going back
Tadashi,
and forth.
Tadashi said, "Parents like you are rare today, rare these
Oh,
days."
thank
Well,
you,
thank you.
Tadashi. That means a lot to me. But you know
Yeah.
what? As much as everybody gives me kudos, I mean, being a dad is like the easiest thing in my life right now. It's so much
Hmm.
fun. Even though
That's
I was getting
awesome.
clowned at last night because they're like, "Oh my God, he's such a kid." But you know what? I like being young at heart.
Hmm.
Actually, that's the secret to looking young. It's like just keep being a kid, bro. So honestly, I keep saying over and over. I think it would be hard if I would have had a daughter because me trying to like instill like that traditional values, and then today they're like throwing it all out the window and saying you could do anything. It's like we would clash, like
Hmm.
my values and my raising versus society. So like I don't know. I think I would have been in constant like battle with my daughter.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm glad that I was blessed with just three boys, and I love it.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between raising boys and raising girls,
Yes,
man. There's
yes,
a huge difference.
yes. However, I've it's breaking my heart because I've heard like recently that a lot of boys, it's not boys, a lot of men because they're already like 18, they're getting out of high school, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, they really don't have any kind of direction.
Right.
Like there's a lost, like there's a silent lost like society, like men in society are getting lost, and it's going by silently, right? These
Hmm.
guys are not going to college. Statistically, if you look at the stats, more women are going to college, more women are finishing college,
Hmm.
and these guys are just getting lost in the system. And more, the system is turning against them. The more and more they're saying, "You're the problem. You're the problem," and they're
Yeah.
looking at themselves as like, "How am I the problem if I have no direction, I have no place to go, I don't know what to do with my life."
Hmm.
So it's heartbreaking. It really
It
is.
is. It really is, and that's a sign of how strong our society is too. We have lost like that sense of community.
Hmm.
And for young people, when you turn 18 and you're just starting out, you're going into the world, it's hard. It really is hard to kind of figure things out and be an adult. Like we don't get prepared for that. The stuff that they teach us in school doesn't
Right.
prepare us to be an adult. And you know, um it doesn't prepare us to kind of, even it doesn't even create that mindset in us of,
Right.
hey, like what am I doing long term? Like what are my long term goals? Where do I want to be? What do I want to accomplish? And we don't I feel like we idolize as a society, we idolize the wrong people. Who
Exactly.
cares if you're a rapper?
Yeah.
Your shit. Like, come on, like
But it's
we
that
should
it's
be
that
we
lifestyle. It's that
should
money.
be idolizing people who are
Mhm.
out there doing the right thing. Like, say, like a teacher who's been a teacher for 10 years and she has like the highest statistics of graduates, people graduating because like she's just going above and beyond. We should be highlighting people who are working in the community, um, and making changes within like a community in a small way. But we
Right.
don't. We don't. We're all like, oh my God, you have to be super rich to be successful in life. And that's not
Right.
true. And we've gotten into this too, like what an average life looks like. Um,
And it's okay to
it's
be
not
average because
millions.
right
It's not
now it's
millions.
like,
You're not making six
yeah.
figures. The medium income is like 60, 70 grand.
Hmm. And it's rough because, like you said, like everybody has this like blown up expectation of life, right?
Hmm.
So everybody wants to be at a 10 when the reality is we're all going to be at a 5. And
Hmm.
five's okay. As long as you're, living below your means, right? And
Yep.
you're making more
That's
than you're
the key right
spending.
there.
You're making more than you're spending, right?
Yeah.
Your life is going to be wonderful if you accept that it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like you're blessed. Like, oh my God, my life is amazing.
Yeah.
And you could be like, well, I'm really not doing anything with it, but it's still amazing because it's my life, it's my freedom, it's me, I'm doing it. It's
Mhm.
like when you put these uh like elaborate like goals, some people make it and kudos to them, but not everybody's gonna be like that.
Right.
It's like it's okay to be average, it's okay to be mundane. You got to realize that it's your one shot. If that's what makes you happy and you feel fulfilled in here, then
That's what
that's what
matters.
people say. Like, what's rich? What's being rich? Is it
Right.
all the money and still being empty inside, or is it being fulfilled inside, feeling love and content and knowing, okay, you know what, I feel rich.
Yeah. I tell my kids all the time, like, you guys are already rich because you have so many loved ones around you. Like,
Exactly.
that's what makes you rich. The people in your life.
Right. And that blessing alone, if you look at it, like you see so many people that's like, oh, I didn't have a mom. Oh, I didn't have a dad. Oh, I didn't have a family. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
have this. Oh, my family was toxic. All this. It's like, it breaks my heart when I hear things like that. Because
Mhm.
look at how blessed we are. We got my cousin's online right now, and she's
No.
commenting, she's shouting out. She's like, she is from afar still showering us with love. And that to me means a lot.
Mhm.
That means a lot to me because it's like, look, that's what we grew up to. That's why we are different. That's why we could think differently. That's why we could see things differently. And it's because we had that. And it's now time for us to start giving that back to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Like letting other people know, like, look, if you didn't have that family you grew up with, you can find your family elsewhere. And that's to me is the power of social media. Because what we see now, we're giving the power to the ones who are vicious, the trolls, right? We're giving the power
Mhm.
to the trolls. We're giving the power to the bullies, who ironically say they don't want to be bullies, but they are bullying. That's what
Mhm.
cancel culture is. You're bullying somebody out of existence. And the sad part about cancel culture is like there's no room for redemption. Like there's no
That's
way for
true.
somebody to redeem themselves. So
Yeah.
by their mindset, everybody who ever committed a crime should just be given a life sentence
Mhm.
because there's no chance of redeeming yourself. It's like if somebody did something wrong, mind you, most of these people who get canceled, they did something wrong years ago, and now the speech has changed or the way of thinking has changed, and so you don't really give them a chance to come out and say, hey, you know what? Back then that was acceptable. Now I've learned I'm not that person anymore.
Mhm.
No, it's just cancel them for life.
Yeah.
It's. I think we got to take that all back because all that's just toxic. And it's just that's what's leading to this whole like tension and division in our country. It's like
Yeah.
we gotta stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
we
want
gotta stop that.
Tadashi's comment to get lost in the sauce. This is the powerful one. Our school systems are making slaves, not kings.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
this is why this me personally, I know and I hear what Lynn is saying. Like our teachers, they have a very what's the word? Like they are our local heroes, right? Because they
Mhm.
are you know teaching our kids. But the overall educational program, I'm down with that shit. I don't like it.
It sucks. It
It's
sucks.
archaic. It's archaic,
Mhm.
and he's right.
The thing that blows my mind is that, like, oh, America, the land of opportunity. So why aren't we, putting more focus into our education? Why aren't we putting more focus into, like, hey, we want, this in the future. We want to be,
Mm-hmm.
a society of smart people. All right, can we please, like, put that as a value as
Right.
Americans? We want to be we want to be self-sufficient. We want to be um nice people. Why aren't we teaching our children this? Why aren't we taking this opportunity and
Homeschool,
creating
cuz
this?
cuz nailed it right on the head, and that's why all my boys are homeschool, and that's another
Mm-hmm.
reason why like I feel so blessed in my life because I was able to walk away from my job. I was able to keep my kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to say no to certain things like that. You know how like freeing that is to be able to say no to something you don't really believe in your
Yeah.
heart and just stand your ground. Like I really, I feel so empowered, and that's why I'm like, look, I don't care how much money I make. Yeah, okay, I say I want disposable income, but that's because you know what, I want to push myself to my max potential. If I have it
Mm-hmm.
in here, I shouldn't be laying in bed or just chilling, playing video games, and just letting it go to waste. So I
Mm-hmm.
just want to maximize it to see how much I can do. But the reality is, I've hit my goal. I hit my life. I'm living a dream right now.
Yeah.
But cuz is right. Homeschool your kids, and that's another thing that's irating. The left is where all of these politicians, people are proposing like, hey, why don't we take the tax money that we get for schooling and let give the parents a voucher and let them decide what they want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're starting to see a lot of more of these like K to 12 charter programs coming out where it's all online, right? And the kids can go on there, and what are they doing? They're going back to, the foundation of what education should be. Now, I would take it one step further, and I'm gonna say, look, girls and boys are different. No matter how many people want to say we're all equal, we're all the same, we're not. We're different. We're programmed different, and I
Right.
would like to see programs catered more to their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Like little boys are very energetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for you to keep them sitting down. They got to go and they got to get that all out of their system, right? That's why I take my kids to like urban air, and I'm like, all right, let's go to urban air. They just
Yep.
go, and then we come home later on that night, and they're like conked out, right? Like all off the wall of freaking Muppets and shit. But that's how boys are. They got that energy. So why don't we develop programs where they're doing that, but then you're also teaching them something? You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like you said, girls mature faster than men,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why don't we give them more programs that caters to that fact, right?
Right.
But then you put them all lumped into this classroom and they say, oh, you all got to be the same and we're all going to teach at this level. It's like, no wonder people are getting left behind. Like you said,
Yeah.
if you're now taking the program down to the lowest denominator because everybody got to be equal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Guess what? You're right. More people are going to be dumb. You're not making smarter people
Right.
because you're not developing those programs to encourage, those stars to rise. Unfortunately.
Everything is available online now. In the near future, whole school systems will change. And
Well,
I'm
one of
actually
my
looking forward to that. Like we were talking about that on the
yeah.
one show about having like VR classrooms where you like put on your little VR thing, you
Mm-hmm.
look around you, you have like, the people who are taking the course with you, your teachers there. Um, so all you do is you put it on and boom, you're in the classroom.
Yeah. And I get it. Like some people are hands on, and those VR classrooms would be great. But you could right now, you can go to a college and you could say, "Hey, I want to audit this course," and you
Mm-hmm.
can go through the course, for free. Don't get a grade, and you're just sitting there taking a full on course, and you're
Mm-hmm.
learning. It's like, look, knowledge is everywhere. I had the biggest joke when I was working. I was like, they were like, "What university you went to?" I was like, "Google U." Because
Mm-hmm.
that's where I got most of my answers was through Googling,
Yeah.
you know, and especially YouTube now. Like you could watch anything on YouTube, and there's a clip on how to do something.
Yeah. It's how I
That's
rebuilt
how
my
Lynn
house.
rebuilt her house.
Yeah. Good old YouTube.
Now, shame on you for not recording the whole thing because you could have had $1 million YouTube channel.
That's true. I
How
could
I
have just been
rebuilt my whole
recording
home.
everything.
Everything, even the part where you were just breaking holes and just letting out your
Mm-hmm.
frustration. But all that would have just your whole journey, in a bunch of videos, it would have been played over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, knowledge is everywhere, and that to me is where the internet is wonderful and beautiful, right? The
Right.
fact that the knowledge is everywhere, it's at your fingertips, you can use it. But what we choose to use? What we choose to do? We choose to go to the side of instant gratification, right? It's also
Mm-hmm.
why TikTok is popular, right? It's instant gratification.
Yeah. But it also comes down to, the direction, how you were talking about with young men. How,
Mm-hmm.
they have that lack of direction. Like we need mentors
Mm-hmm.
and we need I think at the young age, we need someone to say kind of like, hey, like you do have options. These are your options.
Yes. Yes.
Like for you to be so young and be like, I don't know what to do. Like you're not going to think, hey, let me jump onto YouTube and
Mm-hmm.
learn how to day trade because I'm
Right.
good with numbers, Like that's why you need that mentor. You need somebody who's older, wiser. We're supposed to
Right.
respect our elders because of that wisdom. You need somebody who's going to guide you and who's going to, be in your corner and be supportive and,
Mm-hmm.
believe in you.
But you know what? That also goes back to, like, we said it multiple times on the show. That goes back to your family values. That goes back to, having two parents in the household, right?
Hmm.
That goes back to having the grandparents in the household. Remember, we used to have multi generations in one household.
Yeah.
I hear people saying like, "Oh, we can't live off of one salary." I'm like, well, if you're not living within your means.
Right.
If you went and got a smaller home and wasn't house rich, you could live off of
Hmm.
one salary, right? Or if two parents have to go to work, where's the grandparents?
Hmm.
The grandparents, listen, the older you get, the more you want to be in tune with your family, right?
Hmm.
As you can see, you're getting older, you're feeling like you're irrelevant, and you want to be part of family. So have the grandparents there. They can watch the kids. Now they're passing on generational knowledge, right? They're also
Hmm.
passing family values because it's the same values you learned.
Hmm.
It's once again, all of this is it's all systemic. It all adds up. It's all like Lego pieces once you put them all together.
All right, Fuzz in the comments. Your
Okay, all right, here we
thoughts
go.
on Betty Midler? BT?
Yeah, no, Bette Midler.
Bette Midler? All right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators. And even people with vajayjays. Activists are outraged and want to cancel her.
Yes. There's a documentary out right now that is literally called "What Is a Woman," and it's like one of the biggest documentaries going on right now in the United States,
Uh-huh.
which is crazy because the new Supreme Court justice, right, who was appointed because she's a female and she's black, right, not because
Hmm.
of her, not taking away her kudos, but I don't know if she was the best person for the job. It just seemed like Biden was like, I'm going to nominate her because of who she is, not because
Hmm.
of what she's done. But when she was pressed, because they do like the whole interview and they press people to see if you're worthy of being, a Supreme Court justice. One of the questions they asked her was, "Can you define what a woman is?" And she couldn't. She couldn't say it because that goes against all their narratives,
Hmm.
right? Like, what was it? A few years ago, they were like, "Oh, men shouldn't have any say in abortion because they have no part of it. Men can't have babies." Well, now men can have babies.
Hmm.
So now they're changing the definition, and like Fuzz said, they're using all these terminology because they're dancing around their ideology. This
Hmm.
is all what they created. And it's funny because all these stuff where they're like, oh, social construct, social construct. This is a social construct. This is
Right.
exactly it. When you can't
Right.
say what a woman is because you want to believe that there's 101, genders. What is it, like Baskin Robbins or 31 flavors? Is like 31 genders, right? It's you get yourself into a point where you're now contradicting yourself.
Hmm.
And this is all their beliefs. This is all just ideas. It's like you gotta kind of once again. I feel like they just went far too far, and it's like, come on, just bring it back a little bit so everybody else could be on your side. Because I
Yeah.
get it. It's all social issues that they're trying to make people feel comfortable in their own skin and making people feel, which breaks my heart. If there's somebody out there that is not comfortable in their own skin, that breaks my heart because it's like I want everybody to be happy, of course. You
Right.
know, when you like what's the saying? When you're eating, you want everybody else to be eating too, right?
Hmm.
Break bread with me, right? So it hurts me badly that there are people who can't feel comfortable in their own skin, but then in the same sense, it's like how crazy are we gonna get to just make sure everybody's accepted?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. Tadashi said, "Watch Living Lonely and Loveless in Japan documentary available on YouTube on ABC News." Yeah, you know what? And like I said, that goes back to the whole dating thing. Dating is pretty much dead at this point.
Hmm.
We've been so over sexualized that it's a hookup culture. That's literally what they're calling it, a hookup
Yeah.
culture. There's no courting anymore. There's no courtship. There's no, just what's even dead? It's just that, like the whole puppy love feeling.
Hmm.
Remember when you just was so infatuated with somebody and it was like an innocence, like, oh my God, these like butterflies you're feeling,
Hmm.
right? That's gone. It's
It
just
is.
it's a hookup culture. It's just a
It
hookup
is.
culture. It's sad because it's almost to a certain extent like us as humans, we're losing our innocence. And I
Hmm.
see that. Like I see my kids, I see my boys, they're sheltered, they got that innocence. And I'm like, I know at some point they're gonna lose that. And my oldest, he's going into high school.
Hmm.
And I want him to go because he needs that social aspect and that social dynamic, right? And you when you look back to at school, your favorite years were high school, right?
Yeah.
But I know that he's gonna kill that innocence in him.
Right.
And then that's when he's gonna start gravitating to everything that we're talking about.
Hmm.
And it's like it in a way, like I'm bummed by it because I don't want him to fall into that trap of what the rest of society is doing. Like I don't know. Like I said, it's heartbreaking to see us just be like,
Everyone's trying to fit in.
yeah,
And it's not clearly defined what the hell it is that they're trying to fit into. They're
hmm
just grabbing for some kind of connection, and who cares how crazy they look, you know?
right. And the sad thing about it is like they're looking for this physical connection,
Hmm.
but then after a while, they're like, okay, so I've had so much of this physical connection, but I'm still alone.
Hmm.
I'm still empty inside. And I hear it time and time again. It's like these guys are like, man, I worked out, I got money, I got in shape. I made sure I was, a high catch. I was out here, dating this chick, but everything keeps falling apart.
Hmm.
And then a lot of these guys, they're like, you know, I slept with 100 women and I still feel empty. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. That's the key thing I keep hearing. I'm not happy.
Hmm.
And it's like everything they thought they were going to get, everything they achieved, everything they wanted. And at the end of the day, they still feel alone.
Hmm.
It's like there's something broken in society. Like we need to start having those conversations instead of just, here's sex,
Yeah.
here's sex all the time. It's like, stop putting it in my face. It's like we got to have that conversation about it.
Hmm. So that's why Japan and Korea are facing a population problem.
We're facing that here
If
too.
you
We're
went if
facing
you
that here
went to
too.
Japan, or if you went to Japan or Korea, there is common understanding in my generation of people that they don't want to marry and make babies. They think that the world is so cruel and evil.
Yeah.
Oh, so their
And,
population is dropping. People aren't
yes.
having babies.
Well, actually, if you look at the population overall, and this is why Elon Musk is like, we don't have a population problem. We need to have more babies, is
Hmm.
because we are dropping. And I don't know if we drop to the point where like we're about to be extinct,
Hmm.
but we're not making as many babies as we used to.
Hmm.
And if you think about what the whole Roe v. Wade that just happened, that's going to add up to it. So if you figure out like what 25 states right now are let's say they're going to ban abortion and
Hmm.
25 states are going to allow it, fast forward about 30 years, this country is going to be really red.
Hmm.
Because think about who's having the babies and who's not.
Yeah.
So it's sad. It really is. But that once again, that goes back to everything I was saying: dating, marriage, families. Like people are not, that people really believe that the world is so bad that they don't want to bring a kid into this world,
Hmm.
right? So we're doing, as a society, we're doing what leads to babies, but we're not having the babies. Like we're in
Right.
abundantly having sex, but we're not making babies. There's something wrong with that picture.
Hmm.
Because to me, once again, like what I believe, the meaning of life is to keep life going.
Hmm.
And then after you do that as an individual, after you created life, then you got to find your whole, okay, how do I proceed from my physical form into that, spiritual form, that astral form, or whatever you want to call it, right? After, how do I escape, once I die, right?
Hmm.
So after all that said and done, but still, number one is still you got to be making babies. So he's right, and I believe that, but I believe that's global. Other than maybe like I don't know, Middle East and Africa,
Hmm.
but if you think about who's having babies and who's not, a lot of societies are starting to Western society. A lot of Western society is starting to have less and less babies.
I actually I know a family, a Japanese family, who they have three adult kids, and all three of them have decided they're not having children. So like that's the end of their family line.
Cuz said she's not having any babies. Why is that?
Yeah.
I'm curious. Why? Why? If you want to say, if you don't want to say, I respect either way.
Looks like China's one kid policy affected a lot on their men power. So they are planning on canceling the one kid policy.
I believe they already did. And yes,
Mm.
he's right in the sense that so their one kid policy uh was also there was also another underlying fact that they favored more men than it did women. And
Hmm.
I like this was like maybe like 20 years ago. I heard stories of where little girl, baby girls were being killed in China.
Yeah,
So
because they
fast
wanted a
forward
boy.
now,
Hmm.
guess what? Guess what? There is a high count of what? Men in
Men.
society
Hmm.
and less women in the society. So these women get to pick and choose who they want. So there's like about 80% of the men who are not dating,
Mm.
who are just like Tadashi is saying, alone.
Yeah.
And that's sad. That's really sad that, me personally, I like being alone. I mean, I'm an introvert. My best days, yeah, last night, Lynn was up till 4 in the morning partying. Guess what I was doing till 4 in the morning? Watching Stranger Things. That's me. That's my life. And I like just being in the zone and just being by myself. But most people are not like that. I
Hmm.
get it. Most people are social creatures. So when you really want something yet you can't have that, that to me is just it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of these guys, they're just looking, they're not even looking for sex anymore. They're just looking for companionship, somebody to talk to. That's it. Somebody to hold my hand.
Somebody
Can
to
you hold
bounce
my
their
hand?
crazy
Hold
ideas off of.
my
Yeah, because at
hand.
the end of the day,
Exactly.
like you can't walk around in society and just like keep saying whatever is popping up in your mind. You need somebody who's like down for you,
Oh,
like your ride or die.
you
Like, yo,
need
I
to
had
have a
this
filter in
crazy thought
society.
today.
uh, I am
Mhm.
my
So
mother's son.
she answered your question. She said she enjoys her free time, her money. She doesn't want the responsibility. She just wants to live. I like
Hey,
that.
more
Blessings,
power
many
to you.
blessings.
More
Hmm.
power to you. But that's exactly what we're saying. Like we have a society that people just enjoy themselves and what they have.
Yeah.
And like I said, cuz I more power to you for that. But, this is what's leading to, us being underpopulated.
Hmm.
So we got to how do we convince so my cousin right now, she got everything. She got a good job, she's enjoying life, she's enjoying the free time. How do we convince somebody like that and say, "Hey, you know what? We kind of need you to make a baby so we keep the human race going."
Hmm.
How do we convince that?
I don't think we have to. I don't think we have to. I think we what we need to do is focus on how we're going to change our society for the better in the future. It's not about like making everyone have a kid. It's about deciding what the hell we're going to do with all these kids that
So
we are
what
having.
So you think we're having a lot of kids, but like Tadashi's saying, there's societies that are falling under that population level. So
Hmm.
what happens if they come out today and they're like, "Hey, we haven't made enough babies. We're gonna go extinct in like 50 years or something like that."
Hmm.
How do we convince people to say, "Hey, you know, create a baby for the struggle,
Hmm.
keep us alive"? How do we get to that? How do we do that?
Well, it's like Fuzz said, nobody can beat free stuff. Dems will be undefeated in the future. So as long as the Democrats keep giving us free shit, like we'll be good. Like the Democrats say, hey, you can have a free baby. I'll have another baby. I'll have a free
But
baby.
they're not. But as much as they could be undefeated in the future, once again, they're not having babies.
Right. That's true.
You live in a pro-abortion state,
Hmm.
a state that's talking about doing it up to 8 months.
That's
Excuse me.
insane to me.
So even more of a way to get out of it.
Hmm.
So if the ones who are having the babies are the red states and the ones who are not having the babies are the blue states, fast forward 30 years, we're going to be predominant what? We're going to be a Republican nation. We're going to be a red nation. We're going to
Hmm.
be very conservative. So in your lifetime, you could start seeing a lot of these things turn, stuff that you had in your childhood gone.
Yeah.
I don't want it to get to that extreme, but like I said, how do we shift from a society who thinks about me to a
Hmm.
society that thinks about we, which is really hard because to be to not be selfish and give yourself to society, that's being selfless. And that's a unrewarding and most of the time you get treated like shit for
Hmm.
being selfless, right? You're not getting the kudos. You're not getting the applause. You're just doing it because you know it's the right thing to do.
Hmm.
So how do we get there? How do we shift mindset?
it always comes down to children. Like, children are our future, so it's
Hmm.
what we're instilling in our children.
Hmm.
And if I can't even say if, and since as like parents we're not doing that with the current generations,
Right.
then it should be on our society to change our schools and what we teach our children in school. You know, like
Hmm.
what we teach our children in school, it's getting to all the kids. You know, all the kids are like, oh, let's go to college. Oh, I need a 9 to 5. Oh, that's my future. That's what life is about. We have to change it, you know, within the school system
I mean,
to really, you know, create the values as a society
right.
that you know, I'm thinking of.
Like for example, look at Tadashi. He
Hmm.
mentioned a few episodes ago. He was like he feels the pressure of everybody else having everything.
Hmm.
Right? The whole keeping up with the Joneses and all that stuff. Like he wants to have that minimalistic lifestyle. Like
Hmm.
he has been awoken to saying, "Hey, look, I really don't need much. I don't really need to chase after all this." Like he feels content with what he has, but he does feel that pressure, from everybody else. Oh, they got a nice car. They got this. They got all that. So
Hmm.
it's like, how do we promote more people to be like Tadashi and less, chasing after all that other stuff?
Hmm.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just asking a
Yeah,
question.
yeah, it's about our values, our society. What do we put value on? Right now, when you look at, you know, social media where everyone's eyes are, um, you know, people who are famous, they have
Hmm.
everything. That's what we're putting our value on. You know,
Right.
we're saying, hey, people who are rich are more important than the regular everyday people that you see around you. That has
Right.
to change. It all has to change.
Which is sad.
We're all chasing the same thing. We're all trying to be
Mhm.
that, you know, 2% that society's been idolizing for the past 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Which is sad because if we all let's say like we all see famous people, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was like that. And then we woke
Mhm.
up and we were actually famous, we would realize how horrible it is.
Yeah.
Like you can't go anywhere without being recognized. You can't have privacy. You can't have any of that. Like you gotta almost be a narcissist to want all that attention
Mhm.
and
Let's
not
go
be
to the
able to have your
comments. The comments
privacy
are
again.
going crazy right now. Hang on. So let me see. She said, I think we're going to go extinct anyway. With all the push for trans and their surgeries, etc., alphabet type stuff. That's true. That's true. We are
I agree with that
creating
too.
something that long term is going to have an effect. And we're not thinking long term. We're thinking, oh my God, I want to be happy right now.
Yeah, it's funny too because back in the day, I used to listen to Opie and Anthony on Sirius XM,
Hmm.
right, on XM radio, and there was always this after show, and they used to have this one guy who would come over from like Shade 45 to
Hmm.
just talk about, just whatever, shoot the shit with them, right? And he, for the longest time, he would always say, "You look, in 10 years, nothing's gonna matter. We're all gonna be bisexual, and we're all gonna be, just the same thing." And like fast forward, like it's like been the 10 years and it's
Hmm.
literally what they're trying to push.
That's
Like we're
crazy.
all gonna be just one gender.
Hmm.
Which is funny because they're like saying, oh, there's so many genders, but the reality is they're just trying to push to one gender.
Hmm.
Like men, women, like it's just gonna be one thing. But that's leading to it. That's all leading to it. As much as the alphabet community wants to push all their stuff, they still need, you know, straight sex to make more people.
Right.
And maybe that's the reason why they're now going after the kids and they're starting to groom kids, through their messaging because they realize that they're not making children.
Mm.
So, and I've said it before, I do believe that, how do I say this? Being gay now is almost like the in thing to do. So
Yeah.
I feel like there
It's
are
like a
certain
trend. It's
people,
like, even if you're not, it's
right?
like, oh, I am too. Me too.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I feel like there are certain people that are now gravitating to that lifestyle because they want those kudo points.
Especially children.
Yes.
Especially children.
Right. And I hate to say that because like I said, my one of my best friends, he's gay, but he's old school gay. Like he was
Yeah.
like I knew he was gay back in high school, like he didn't want to come out then. And I wish I was like, look, I wish you would have came out then because you would have had the support of, our group of
Your
friends.
friends, your group. Yeah. Your
Right.
people.
But
They all knew anyway, you know?
I talked to him about a lot of this stuff, and he doesn't really like where all this is going.
Right.
Like he doesn't even like going to Pride anymore because he was like, Pride is not what it used to be.
Mm,
He's like, it's been hijacked by something else.
yeah. Buzz
So
says he has neighbors who are Hasidic Jews, Orthodox Hasidic Jews, and they have 10 kids per family. It's a lot of kids.
yeah, so I really do see that what's gonna
And they
happen
work the
is
system. And they work the system because they get married through the church, but not
mm-hmm,
officially like through the state. So like the wives go and they get food stamps, they get this, they get that. They work the system. At least that's what I heard because I don't really know many
they
Jews.
do. They
They
do. There
definitely
was
like stick to their own
there's
communities.
actually
They have each other's backs. You know, it's the biggest gang in the world. They have each other's
they
backs, and
are.
good for them.
They're like
Good
they're
for
almost
them.
like they're like a modern day mob. So
Yeah.
there was a like a campground restaurant, some land that's like right up the road from me,
Hmm.
and they came in, they bought the land, and then they deemed it a school.
Hmm.
So now they're getting funding from the local school, right?
Hmm.
My whole district, they're getting money, but they don't allow anyone into their school.
Mm.
So it's just for their community, it's just for their kids, and they're getting that funding. So
I heard there was
it
a
is what
huge
it is.
issue with that with over by the Commons, like down in Woodbury Commons.
Oh, they're
Their
big there.
school district was like that,
Yep.
and a while ago, it had to be at least 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The community finally said like enough, like they're getting all these funding, like our kids need to be able
Mm-hmm.
to go there too, so they combined the two schools, and that's why it's like Monroe Woodbury.
Mm-hmm.
Tadashi said it's likely hard to be to be able to completely reform our society and civilization. We need some kind of very, very, very big event that will unite the human race, and let me see, and think and make them think about human race, like just that whole switch that we're talking about, that
Mm-hmm.
change, that shift.
Well,
He thinks
it's
either
gonna.
a big world war or an alien invasion. I feel like they're setting us up for an alien invasion.
I do so. I think so too. And honestly,
Coming.
I've been diving more into. I know I brought it up previously in the show, and I was
Hmm.
like, I feel like more and more content is talking about like this multiverse or like
Hmm.
this like alternate like reality that is present but we can't see it kind of thing. Like what
Hmm.
Stranger Things had. Like I'm seeing more and more shows do that. I'm curious to see if like if it's just a recent thing or if like there was more stuff like in the 80s and stuff like that. Like I'm kind of I think I'm gonna go off in my own little rabbit hole now and just start
Hmm.
looking for stuff like that because I really do think there's something there. But going back to the whole population thing, this is me just thinking logically. I really do feel fast forward 100 years. Ironically, the thing that people are pushing out of their lives is what's going to survive, and that's religion.
Hmm.
Like the religious people are the people who are pushing pro-life. Religious people are the ones who are having babies. Like you said, the Hasidic Jews are having 10 kids. That's
Hmm.
also Muslim, right? That's also Christianity. So I do see that come about 100 years from now, our society, what we see now, is going to go. It's going to shift the other way, and
Hmm.
it's going to be a very conservative society because that's what's going to be the majority.
Yeah, I hear what
all
you're
these
saying.
like crazy, all these crazy like blue hair crazy people that they're not having kids. They're
Hmm.
not having kids. So if going back to Tadashi's comment, what's really going to do time? Time is what's going to fix all this.
Mm.
Time, unless we could come into the middle, have a conversation, and be more realistic about the fact, like, hey, this is all this stuff is noise. This is really what life should be about. And then once we start focusing on that, that's when we're going to see that whole middle of the ground kind of thinking. But right now, the way I see it, the left is going deeply to that side where they're just going to be extinct. They're
You
eradicating
see how
themselves.
many, just in this stream alone, how many different ideas we have around this. So Fudge just said he doesn't think it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be aliens or war. He thinks it'll be a depopulation event, like Ebola, like what I think they attempted to have 2 years ago that kind of failed.
Biden's already saying that. Biden's already saying that there's going to be a second lockdown. He's already getting funding. Like he's putting like billions of dollars. So is it a natural thing? Is it going to be a manufactured thing? Look,
Mm-hmm.
listen, they really do, and when I say they, it's, the powers to be,
Mm-hmm.
whoever you want to believe, the people with money, right? They really do believe that we're overpopulated. And the only billionaire I know who openly came out and said, no, we're not overpopulated. If anything, we're underpopulated. We need to have more kids is Elon Musk. So
Mm-hmm.
they have that mindset that they think that, we're overpopulated, right? It's the end of the world because of global warming or whatever they want to believe. And they got the means and the money. What are they going to do? Yeah, I could see that.
That's
Listen, there
crazy.
was a documentary that came out that showed that there was shit. What's the thing when you go through the patent office and you get patents
Mm-hmm.
and you get you get the rights to
Like
things? Well, there's
copyright or
yeah, there's patents, there's trademarks and patents on certain viruses.
mm-hmm.
Like, why would you need a
Why?
patent a
That's
virus?
ridiculous. Why? Because it all
So
comes down to the bottom line. That's all it is. It's greed that's running the world.
yes,
It's greed that's creating,
yes.
all the seven deadly sins. Like it's greed that's pushing all that.
And so when you see this greed, and then people look at me like I'm the crazy one, like I was like, oh here's this vax, take this vax. I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, I'm all right. It's like when you see all this greed and you see how the pharmaceutical company is so corrupt, but they get away with so much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Under the guise of what that they're helping us, right? Like how I don't know how more people are not hesitant when it comes to pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
I'm even more hesitant when they start saying, "Oh, you got high blood pressure, or you got, high cholesterol. You got to take this daily medication." It's like, do I really need this, or are you just pumping this so that you keep making money off of me for the rest of my life?
Right.
You know, like you
Yeah,
said, like last night, we were
it's like
talking
a
about this last
parent
night.
who it's like a parent who's keeping their child sick for the attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
and
that's
I've
kind of
I've met
what's
people
happening
like
to our
that.
society. Our
I met people
government,
like that.
the medical industry is in cahoots with our government right now.
Yes, yes.
They
I've
are
met
side
people
by
like that
side.
where they swore that this kid had a peanut allergy. This kid
Hmm.
had like everything under the sun.
Hmm.
Like they really was programming this kid psychologically to be a victim.
Hmm.
And when you come to when you come to realize it, you realize it like, yo, this kid is stronger than you're trying to make it seem.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we were talking about that last night. Ironically, we were talking about how your guest was he was told he had diabetes and he just changed his whole lifestyle around
Hmm.
because he knew he was like I don't want this medication, and so
Yep.
he changed his whole lifestyle around,
Yep.
and then he actually found like rice that was
For diabetics, they make
yeah,
rice
for
specifically
diabetics,
for
yeah, just
diabetics.
changed his whole diet around.
Hmm.
So
Tadashi realized too that all the different governments have been like, talking about aliens here.
yes, we said
Yeah.
that. We said that. I was
Yeah,
like, yo,
they're
they're giving
they're
us up.
prepping us. They're planting the seeds so that when it happens, we're all gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we've been hearing the buzz.
But
They
I
actually even changed. I don't even think they call it UFOs anymore. It's not unidentified flying objects. It's like unidentified something device.
aerial something. Yeah,
Yeah,
phenomenon.
yeah.
Aerial
Like it's not
phenomenon,
even
like UAP.
UFO anymore.
Yeah, UAP. Yeah, yeah. So
What the hell? So death insurance claims jumped 150% from 2020 to 21.
death insurance claims. So somebody died and they claimed in their life insurance policy
Mm-hmm.
from 2020 to 2021.
There was a
Well, that
jump.
was during COVID. So is it COVID related or oh shit, Kofifi related
Mm-hmm.
or
Oh, you see,
something
Tadashi's
like
on it.
that?
They're UAVs now.
Yep, UAVs.
Unidentified aerial something something.
Yeah, UAVs. I had to Google it because I was like, what the
Uh,
hell is
Project
UAVs?
Beam. Yep, we've all
Oh
heard
shit!
it.
Oh shit! We got all the project codes.
Yep.
I love it when the show goes off the rail. It always happens at like the second hour, and I love it because I'm like, this is my element. This is my zone. Yo, but I really do believe that UFOs have been around. I believe Hollywood has been indoctrinating us, through movies and television, as far as getting us, accepting, that there is aliens.
Yeah.
But when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, right? Even if you're religious, if you're not religious, you got to think like we're on a little floating rock, right,
Right.
around the sun, right? And there's like multitudes of galaxies. To think that we're the only form of life is kind of like going back to that whole like selfishness
It's a
and
little
like,
arrogant. Like, what?
yeah, it's a little arrogant, right? It's like, look, they gotta be, look, there's life out there, and I believe it.
Hmm.
I believe it. Now, is it friendly life, or is it, are there enemies? This is
Yeah.
what I think. I
I'm
think,
not going to be on the roof like in Independence Day. I'm not going to be on the roof of
yeah,
a tall
until
building
we see what's
welcoming them
going
with a
on, right?
sign like, welcome, alien.
I think that so the story of like Roswell, New Mexico, right? In Area 51
Yes.
back in like the 50s. So I think the alien came, they crashed there, right? The
Hmm.
government came, the alien was still alive, and I believe that that alien was friendly and he's been helping us. That species has been helping us for the last, 50 years. That's why we got like all this dope ass technology since then, right?
Hmm.
Our technology has like quickly evolved. And I think what they're getting us prepped for is an oncoming war with another species. That's just me. Look, if I'm taking anything from Hollywood and movies, this is what's going on.
All I know is that if we have an alien invasion, that's going to be scary as shit. Like,
You're gonna
one,
be scared. You're
because
not ready to fight.
who knows what they're gonna look like? Who knows what they're gonna be capable of? I feel like I need more guns. I only have one. I need more guns.
We need more guns. Oh, did you watch Independence Day, Fourth
Yeah.
of July? That's the
Oh,
ritual.
I
You gotta
didn't
watch
watch it
Independence
this
Day.
year. That's crazy. I should have had it on the projector outside yesterday. That would have
Yeah,
been
you
dope.
should have.
That
Yeah,
would have
with
been
it like
dope.
no sound or anything, just going like, yo, it's Independence Day.
It's still over till
That's a
the
good movie. It
February
still holds up
thing.
too.
Yeah, it's still a good movie. You can watch it over and
It
over
is.
again every year, and it's still good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's
Fuzz
hilarious.
gave us more details. So life insurance payouts are the highest over the last 100 years.
Hmm.
So it wasn't so much that there were more claims. It was more so the amount that was being claimed has increased. But then again,
All
like
I can
you have
say,
to also remember that currency, it's just a fake system. It's just numbers. It's just
well,
numbers.
the most
Especially now
money.
that they're all like, "Oh, there's a coin shortage. We're getting rid of coins now." Like, come on. It's all
But
numbers. We're gonna go digital, and people are paying out more because that's what our government does. They just print more money. They're just like, "Oh, we got
but
money.
let me
Here we
ask you
go."
this, Lynn. But let me ask you this, Lynn. Why does the dollar have value? It's just a piece of paper. Why
Right?
does it have
Because we
value?
believe it does.
Because
Because
we
we
believe it does.
collectively
Yes.
accept it
So
as
what
currency.
happens when you believe in something has value and then all of a sudden it doesn't, or people start losing trust in that value?
Everybody's minds are just gonna
Chaos.
blow. Ah,
Chaos, right? Chaos
yep,
pursues.
yep.
So that's what's going on right now, especially when within the last few years, the what they said 20%. No, the majority of all the money printed has been printed within the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
So yeah, yeah. So Fuss said the world deems the U.S. dollar the safest in the world, right? So the rest of the world trusts the U.S. dollar. So the U.S. dollar depegs for whatever reason. Let's say the dollar starts losing value. That's
Hmm.
going to hurt globally.
Yes.
It's like, yes, I get it. It's just paper. It's just whatever. You just create more or whatever. But you got to have a system of trust in there.
Hmm.
Like, you got to trust that what you're saying, hey, you're going to take out this loan, or you owe us this money or this debt or whatever, it's going to be paid back, right? Like, there got to be some sort of sense of trust throughout all of it. So
Hmm.
if that goes away, man, that's where you're going to pursue chaos in the streets.
Yeah.
And that's why we got to get some kind of control of this inflation that's going on right now, because, you know, it's just gonna be funny money. There was literally $1 million bill in Africa at one point because their money just was stagnant. It just went crazy, right? it just inflated, and it was just like, here's $1 million that's worth $1.
Hmm.
It's like at some point we gotta have something. So how do you fix it? I don't know. That's way out of my that's way out of my understanding. But I hope they fix it soon.
Yeah, it's always crazy to be abroad somewhere and see just like the currency exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's nice when, the dollar's holding some value and, $1 is like $100 over there. That's nice. But there are some countries whose currency is stronger than ours right now, like the pound.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're not. We tend to be arrogant as Americans, but we have to understand, like, we are not number one.
We're not. And when the whole Ukraine and Russia conflict started, right? The Russian ruble like dropped, right? Because it was like, oh my God, let's cut off all trade with them. But
Hmm.
they have assets that the world wants. And
Right.
when Russia was like, look, we're not going to accept, any other payment other than our ruble, guess what? It went right back up
Yeah.
because, they have value. So it's, once again, the dollar has value because we believe it has value.
Hmm.
Same thing with
But it
crypto.
says,
That's why I'm all
but it
in
says we
crypto.
can abuse the U.S. dollar, because the world props it up, and no currency
Yep.
can match ours. But they say that, like, he's saying China, USSR, Brazil, India are getting together to compete. And that's actually, good for them. Good
Yes.
on them, to create those alliances so that you can compete, so that you can stay in the race. Because at the end of the day, like, community is important. And, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's, community, the people who live, around you within maybe, 1 mile radius, or that's a community of like, hey, which countries have my back? Who can I stand with in solidarity to get, our voices heard? So good on them.
Right. And that's one thing that I'm disappointed with US politics is that they don't well, currently the current administration doesn't believe in the fact that trade is what keeps peace.
Right.
And look at the previous 4 years, we had peace. Why? Because we had open trade agreements.
Hmm.
Like, we literally had a president who would go and talk to all these leaders that we deemed the horrible people
Yeah.
and say, hey, look, if I'm eating, you're eating too.
Right.
It's the same concept. You can't just keep eating and then have somebody over here who's homeless looking through the window and then like, damn, that looks good. He has an abundance. Why is he not sharing? And then the next thing you know, he's breaking through the window trying to murk you
Trying to
for your
take it.
food.
Trying to take it.
Right.
Yes.
So it's like that's the same concept, but at a bigger global scale. It's like, look, we gotta have open trade with China. We have to have open trade with Russia. We gotta have open. We gotta open all these doors, and we gotta make sure that they're eating. We may not like them, but as long as they're eating basic human functions, they're eating.
It'll be good.
They're gonna keep the peace, right?
Yeah.
Because when they can't eat, when they can't, they're starving. That's when they're gonna push the nuclear button.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know why people can't think like that. Yeah, they're all these companies and all these. Oh, we're shutting our doors. We're shutting our doors. Yeah, so no shit. They're gonna take their business elsewhere. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't want our oil? Cool. Who wants our oil? Brazil's like, I'll take the oil.
Right.
We want to eat too. We'll take the oil. So
So Tadashi put a little more information. He said China, USSR, India is going to form an alliance, and one currency to trade between BRICS.
that's
BRICS.
awesome. That's awesome, and I hope it humbles Europe and America, because right
Hmm.
now, we need to have trade. Trade is what's going to keep us civilized. Open trade is what's going to keep us moving forward to world peace.
Hmm.
When we have that open dialogue, once again, conversation, dialogue,
Hmm.
right? And say, hey, what is it that I can do for you and what can you do for me? And we work as a community, amazing, we can survive as a community.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, our politicians don't think like that. I mean, we did, but, he got slaughtered through the media and made it look like he was the worst person ever. So it is what it is. Look, the man
I
kept
kind
peace.
of want to go back and see if there are any episodes where you don't talk about Trump.
Look, I'm acknowledging it for what it was. The dude was nominated for a freaking what's it? A
Nobel
Nobel
Prize.
Peace Prize. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
he was
And
nominated
it's the
for a
things that,
Nobel Peace Prize. Come
and it's a
on.
thing that, if media is not covering it in a certain way, in a certain language, that, it kind of gets lost.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that kind of got lost. Everyone's like, oh, he's such a clown. He does this, he does
Hmm.
that, he's racist. But they weren't really looking at his accomplishments. They weren't really following like the things that he was doing for us.
Which is crazy because I'm like, look, if you guys for 4 years created this massive hatred towards this man, you could
Mm-hmm.
have run anybody. Anybody was gonna win. You could have ran anybody. Why did they choose this potato?
Right.
Why did they choose Mr. Magoo? I don't get
Mm-hmm.
that. Like why? You could have put anybody. You could have put a young woman and been like glass shattering. Oh my God, it's her turn. All of this
Mm-hmm.
because I guarantee if they would have ran Hillary again, people hate her. But then you could have ran anybody, and they ran Mr. Magoo and said
Mm-hmm.
that's who our president's gonna be. I don't know. But well, you know what? Because he's easier to control, right?
Mm.
He's easier to control, easy to get what they want, and he's giving them all. He's giving it all. It's did you see Jeff Bezos came out and went on Trump for the whole gas and how expensive gas is?
No.
Yeah, it was like a tweet. Like Trump said, I mean not Trump. Biden said something about gas prices and how he can't control it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Bezos came out. I'm like, yo, this is one of the like most left leaning like billionaires out there. Like
Mm-hmm.
he literally owns the Washington Post just so he can just keep the propaganda going. And he
Mm-hmm.
just came out against Biden. I was like, man, they are not standing by this guy. I'm telling you, they're gonna like, he's done. He's like a martyr or something. They're gonna just sacrifice that dude. Not even a martyr. They're gonna sacrifice him. They're gonna be like, it's all his fault.
He's gonna be the
Vote
scapegoat.
for us. We're not with him no more.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. So anybody just tuning in, welcome to the channel. Welcome, welcome. Um we go live Tuesdays and Thursdays, late mornings. The show is called The Couch Show with your hosts, Lynn and Ray. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. That way you won't miss the next episode. Um, yeah, there we go. Intro.
Intro, perfect. Yeah, I was gonna remind you like 30 minutes ago. I was like, oh yeah, we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I looked
I
up. I was
think
like, oh crap, I missed it. I was supposed to like
I
reintroduce
think we
the
started
show.
talking about aliens though, and I got excited. See, that's the fun stuff. I love talking about all that stuff, but it's like we gotta talk about the other stuff too because that's what's really important in
Yeah.
our day to day, right? So Lynn has this like laid back chill. She's like, look, if I don't see it on my day to day, I don't really care, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we gotta make a change. We gotta make a change. And she's like, no, I don't see it. I don't see it. Everything's fine.
Tadashi showing some love. He always feels so
Oh, thank you,
positive after
man.
doing the
Thank you.
streams.
I
I
hope
love
so.
it.
I hope so. Because we're
Yeah.
trying to we're trying to do everything. We're trying to talk the topics. We're trying to laugh about it. Just have fun. Show some love and positivity, but try to get people thinking, get people inspired.
Yeah. And I mean
Cool, cool, cool.
one of our like little behind the scenes kind of thing. One of the things is like we aim to be givers. We're givers of love, we're givers of good vibes, and we're givers of, strength through conversation.
Yeah.
These conversations are empowering.
Yes. That's it. I was ready. I was like
Um,
ready. I was like,
oh,
got you.
oh, and Tadashi joined the cloud computing course. That's what's up.
Yes.
That's what's up. Good
That's
job, man.
it. I'm telling you, I'm brushing up on my um, penetration testing, which is it's really a paid hacker.
Hmm.
So it's these guys who hack stuff before the hacker does, and you get paid for it. So
Hmm.
I signed up for this certification, and I'm going through the course. It's like 50 hours, 50 plus hours. So I got to brush up on my coding. Like right now, I'm learning Python. It's a coding language, and it's fun. Like I always wanted to like do more of this stuff, but I was more on like the policy side of the house and the management side of the house when it came to cybersecurity.
Hmm.
So now that I have this opportunity, right, I'm just tapping away, and I love it. Like I said,
Yep.
it gives me something to do. Because before this, I was like, what I want to do? Anything you want, Ray. All right, that doesn't answer anything. What should I be doing? Anything you want,
There you go.
Ray. So, you know what? It's like it's cool. I want to do some like bug bounty and do all kinds of stuff. It'll be fun.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, as I was always a kid who always wanted to break things. Like my
Hmm.
mom literally got me. Mom's not on here, but if she was on, she was like, yeah, I did. She got me this radio. It was like AM FM radio. I think it had a tape cassette deck too, but it was a see through radio. And she
Hmm.
was like, here's a radio that's see through. You can see everything how it works, but you don't need to break it. Because I was breaking all my toys. I was breaking my toys, putting them together, making all kinds of stuff. That's why I
Hmm.
love the Legos, because I was just like, I would make whatever the instructions would say, right? And then I would break all the pieces up and start making stuff. Somehow, all my toys ended up being weapons, though. But I don't know, that's a conversation for another day. uh,
Right. Are you excited to see Thor?
I am actually. So I got my double feature tickets. Me and my boys, we're gonna go see Thor on Friday, and then we're gonna go see Minions afterwards.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, I'm actually I'm excited. I know there's gonna be a lot of woke content. Of course, it's Disney. Disney took over Marvel and Star Wars, of course.
Hmm.
But if it's like anything like the last Thor movie, I had fun with it. So hopefully I'll have fun with this one too.
Yeah.
I know the reviews started coming in, so I don't know if I'm kind of hesitant to see them. I am. I really. I'm like, no, don't butcher Thor.
I think since you're looking forward to it, like, don't even worry about the reviews yet. Like, go see
Yeah, I
it,
think I'm just
formulate
gonna
your
go and
own
have fun. I'm
opinion.
just gonna turn off and just enjoy it because it's like, look, it's the Guardians, it's Thor. It's like to me, the trailer looked like it was gonna be fun. I like Chris
Oh,
Hemsworth, and
okay,
he
okay.
likes playing that role, so I think I'm gonna have fun either way.
Hmm.
But I'll talk about it. I'll be like, oh my god, the woke, the message.
Well, it's kind of cool because they didn't leave us off where Thor went off with the Guardians.
Yeah. So now it's bringing
Ooh.
that back. It's been a while because they went off and they did other projects. Which look, I'm not bashing on the other projects that they went and did. You
Hmm.
know, I get it. Marvel wants to explore other characters, right? And for whatever it is, some characters may resonate with me, some won't, and that's okay. That's okay because as long as it resonates with somebody and they're telling a story, that's cool. So, like I liked Shang Chi. I thought it was a great, I thought it was a good movie.
Hmm.
But like you said, we haven't really touched bases with the primary story, right, for a few years now. So now it's like, oh shit, now we're gonna touch back with Thor and the Guardians. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am looking forward to it.
Hmm.
Got me being a comic nerd. This is a great episode. I was talking about aliens. I was talking about Thor. I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm loving it. Listen, I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support today. This episode was great. You guys provided so much comments. I know we were all over the place, but you guys helped drive all that forward. So, like I said, I love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you for showing support, and thank you for riding with us. Because sitting here for an hour and 40 minutes right now, and you guys still watching us. That means a lot. That really does. That means a
Yeah.
lot. It's dope. It's like at this point, I just come on just so I can shoot the shit with you guys. uh, we just got to figure out how to get more of you guys. We got to grow the army, grow the cult. Oh, they're gonna take that clip. Oh, you see, he is a cult. He said it. He said he's a cult. Oh, it's hilarious.
Ray, you missed the Bezos point.
Yeah. Go. So Fuzz, feed me more information so I can go on it. I just took the highlights of it. The fact that Bezos was going after Biden. It's
Oh, wrong one.
it was
Didn't mean to do that.
like I could see that they're eating their own right now. They're panicking and they're eating Biden because they're gonna sacrifice him. Man. Bezos and Bezos said Biden is wrong for blaming gas stations for high prices. Yes, he is wrong. He is wrong. He's also wrong for blaming Russia. It's not Russia. All the gas prices were increasing before Russia ever invaded Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
That's his policies. He literally campaigned and said, we're going to go green. From day one he went in, he took away the Keystone Pipeline, right? And he's been pushing more policies against the gas makers, right? The companies. And these CEOs, they've came out and they've openly said, look, if Biden, you know, lifts these restrictions, we could be at capacity and we could be making more fuel. More
Mm-hmm.
fuel, more supply, helps leave demand, which brings prices down. It's economy 101. But
Right.
Biden wants to sit and blame everybody else, but it's his policies. He's literally pushing that green initiative. He wants us all on electric cars.
Which, not to mention, as Fuzz is saying, the gas stations, they make their money off of the snacks, off of their little bodega they have. Not so
Car
much the
washes.
gas. The car washes, they have the washes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to realize, people will drive wherever if they know there's a gas station that's 10 cents cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So all these guys got to be competitive.
I used to drive to Jersey for a quarter. Like,
yeah,
it adds up.
So all these prices are set by, they're not making any profit off of the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a cent off of it, if anything. But really, what's getting all that is the prices of whatever the barrel is being charged and the taxes.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, you're right.
Which
They're
price
making
per barrel? I
I
saw recently. I don't remember where, but somebody pointed out that the price per barrel is still, similar to what it was like 5 years ago.
Well, 5 years ago, we also had, look who was in office. It was Obama,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
no, 5 years ago we had Trump in office.
5 years ago. Oh man, you make me do math right now?
Yeah, because you figure each president's there for 4 years. So it was the end. Yeah, I guess it was the end of Obama, beginning of Trump.
I'm telling you, if you look at that timeline, because I've seen the timeline where it shows like it's going like this. Trump comes in, it goes like this, and then it goes back up to this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people who are actually taking a lot of what Obama tweets, right? And then like a few days later, you'll see Biden at like a speech, and he's literally saying the same thing. So there's a video where they were like, would Obama want a third term? And Obama pretty much came out and said, well, if I could do something where there's a guy who's standing there and I'm behind the scenes with like a headset, and I'm just telling him what to say, and he's doing it, then I'll be all for that.
No,
So
Lord.
I feel like this is just Biden's just Obama 2.0.
Get out.
Yeah. You can look for it. Look for the clip. I'm like, yo, they can't even hide this shit anymore. They just blatantly just saying what they're doing.
Jeez. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hide in plain sight.
Yeah. Was that plausible deniability, right?
Mm-hmm. We were telling them it was all out there. It's on the internet. You can see.
Yeah, and you let it happen. So don't give out, right? You wanted it. If you didn't want it, you could have had leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've heard that before. If you didn't like it, you could have left. That's hilarious.
All right, guys. So we're coming up on that time.
Closing time.
Yeah, let's close it out. You don't have to go home. Oh, you might already be home.
Have any, Lynn, you have any? Because I said it's song. Go ahead, sing it. Closing time.
No, I'm saying like they don't have to go home, but they're probably already home.
But you can stay here because Lynn's gonna end the stream.
Yeah.
Man, we need to start doing this where we could bring in like the web and stuff like that because I want to do like more memes and stuff like that. I'm telling you, that's how we're gonna win the argument by the memes.
What
man.
the hell? Fuzz, I didn't even hear about this. Right? Did you see the TikTok nurse making a video as soon as her patient dies?
No, no,
What
that's
the hell?
crazy.
What kind of video did she make? Was it like she was just dancing with the dead guy in the background, or was it like, oh, she was talking about the dead guy? Like,
She
I
did
need
a
more
weekend at
context here. I
Bernie's.
need more context.
Did she do a weekend at Bernie's? Like she took the dead body, taped it, and it was like walking
You know
weekend at
what's
Bernie's.
going on? I tell you what,
That's a
what
movie
we
they should
laugh
do a
about that,
remake.
but what we're creating in our society is like we're just desensitized. We're desensitized. We're desensitized assholes. And like my daughter yesterday, she's 12. She was riding an electric scooter, and our cousin was on another scooter, and like they ended up colliding. She took a spill. She fell at 15 miles per hour, and it could have been a lot
Ooh.
worse. But the fact is, she fell. She scraped up her arm, her hand, her leg
Mm.
was bruised. And like some school friends were standing outside and they saw it. And like instead of them like showing concern or expressing, some like hold your laughter in, like no, they laughed, they were teasing, they were, like calling her names for
Mm.
falling. And that's what we're creating in our society with these TikTok videos and everything being online and just seeing all the bullshit that goes on in the world on the internet. We have a society of people who just don't give a damn about one another. Like
Take
they're our
that.
neighbors. They go to school
Hmm.
together.
Yeah,
And
take that
like
to
she was limping
one.
away and they were having a good time about it on her
Yeah,
behalf.
and take it one step further. Take that scenario, right? And now like amplify it. Car
Mhm.
accident, car crash, right?
Yeah.
A car just crashes in front of somebody. There are two type of people. There's gonna be the person who's gonna pull over and help, and
Hmm.
there's the person who's gonna pull over and record
Yeah.
because they want that YouTube video. And that's sadly where that's where we are.
Hmm.
That's where we are as a society, and it's really sad. I don't want to end on a sad note, Lynn.
Yeah,
Why
I
do you why do
know.
you bring
I
it
know. Let's
a
keep
sad
going.
note? It was a fun show. No, but that is the reality, and it's sad because I want to help more people to be the person who's gonna pull over and help.
Mm.
Like that's just human decency, right? Just to pull over and be like, "Yo, are you okay?" And the guy's like, "Yeah,
Right.
I'm okay." Then you can laugh at his ass and whatever. But
If once like some like say she hadn't gotten hurt and they were all laughing, all right, cool. It was probably funny. She took a spill. But the fact is she did get hurt.
yes.
And instead of them like realizing she was hurt and like kind of like toning it down, they didn't. They
Hmm.
saw she was hurt and they didn't care. They didn't care. It was just, it was a good laugh at her expense.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, TikTok has made falling, beating, violence, it's cool. It's funny now.
Man, that's been around for a minute. Look at yesterday.
Hmm.
Yesterday we were talking about your hammock, and we were like, "Yo, people are gonna fall off that hammock." And what was the thing? I was like, "Yeah, you trying to get me on there so you guys can record it and send it to what? America's Funniest Home Videos." That started way back in the day,
Yeah.
like just recording somebody's misfortune and laughing about it.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a channel called Failed Army. The kids love it. They're like, "Oh, it's so hilarious! People falling off of trampolines and shit." But like,
Hmm.
you're right. These people are getting hurt. And it's like, I don't know, like I get it. It's humorous to a certain extent, but we should also understand, like, listen, before you start laughing, ask if they're okay.
Yeah.
And that's just basic decency at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
look, are you okay? Okay, because you busted your ass and then start laughing at them.
Right. Right.
Help them up while laughing. Hey, I can see that.
Mhm. So the
Yeah,
lady on
it's
TikTok,
sad.
the nurse, she wasn't staring at the camera, but she was acting sad. So I guess she was just like sharing that experience of having somebody had died like on her watch kind of thing. Like she was
Mhm.
um on not on call. She was working.
No, the
She was
thing,
at work.
the thing I've been seeing is just women just screaming.
What do
Because of the
you mean?
whole Roe v. Because of the whole Roe v. Wade thing, right? I'm
Mhm.
getting all tongue tied with it.
Wait. So
But there's
people
these,
just like record and they're just like
yeah. But it's
thing.
it's a it's a thing where like this one clip I saw, she had a pillow down there and she had knee pads, so she knew she was gonna like drop down and all that. So it's not organic. So it just looks like it's just screaming like a mental issue.
What the hell?
And I'm like, oh yeah,
Almost
they're
like a
just like
dramatic scene, like
screaming
a dramatic scene from a
yeah.
movie reenactment kind of thing.
Yeah, just random screaming. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, all right, that's hey, Hey, I'm telling you, I think we're gonna see more and more of a backlash towards cancel culture and this extremist.
Hmm.
It's like you're gonna see the extreme in social culture is gonna lead to the extreme in politics and laws. And
Hmm.
it's sad because I like I said, I don't want to see people's human rights taken away, but I could see why they're gonna take things away. It's like, yo, you coming out the kids. All right, take it away.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want to live in a world like that. I want everybody listen, I said it earlier. I want everybody to be happy. Look, just be happy in your own skin, be who you are. Let's be light, let's be fun, let's all enjoy life. If I'm eating, you eat it too, right?
Hmm.
However, there's others who was like, look, it's my way or the highway. And
Right.
that's a horrible way of thinking. It's like if you were making your plight and you wanted people to have empathy and be about your argument, you got to make it lighthearted. You got to not make it lighthearted, but you can't force people into it. When you make it forced, that's when people are going to resist.
Hmm. People don't
Hence,
like being
Fourth of
told what to
July,
do.
rebels. Yeah, exactly.
People
We
don't like being
don't.
told what to do. We want
Right.
to
Yeah.
feel like it was my choice. I decided,
Exactly. Exactly.
options. This is what
So
I chose.
yeah, yeah. So.
Coming back home from being in DR, like in DR, I was living a luxurious lifestyle. Let me tell you, like I
Mm-hmm.
had the balcony, like, attached to my bedroom, and I had like a huge in-ground pool that the kids were swimming in all times of the day. And there was a maid that came in the morning. She would cook us breakfast. She would clean the
Mm-hmm.
house. She would, clean up after breakfast and stuff. Like I was pampered for a whole week. So coming back home to my house, like my house is smaller than the house we stayed in. I
It's a
don't have a
mess
pool in the backyard.
because
I
the
don't have the
kids.
maid, helping me
Yeah.
out. But it
Yeah.
was kind of cool that even though I don't have all those things, coming back home, it feels good to be home.
Felt like home. Yeah.
I still appreciate what I do have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not worried about the stuff that I don't have. I am focusing on the stuff I
Yep.
do have. And I jumped right back into the mundane of doing the laundry and washing the dishes and
Mm-hmm.
making sure there's food in the house, going grocery shopping and finding happiness. It's as simple as accepting where you are, accepting
Mm-hmm.
what you have, and being grateful for what you do have instead of focusing on what you don't have yet.
Yeah, and I felt the same way when I went to Delaware with the boys. Like we're camping and we're having such a good time. And the last day, like it was kind of like a gloomy. It wasn't sunny. It was like a gloomy day. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, it must be gloomy because we're leaving. It was Monday, right? And like to drive back, I was like, oh, I'm so bummed to be home. But then as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, man, I'm happy to be home. I'm
Hmm.
happy to be in my bed. I'm happy to take my shower. It's
Yeah.
like this is my stuff. It's me. It's mine.
Hmm.
It's like it's um but I do believe in the saying where, a house is not a home is wherever your heart is, right? I do
Right.
believe that. I do believe that because I feel at home when I'm at your house, right?
Hmm.
Because family, right? Did you say family? Family's everything. Vin Diesel. Fast and Furious. But, I do believe I get what you're saying. It's like, um, the things that you worked for, you worked hard for. Like you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into your home.
Hmm.
So, when you come back, you feel comfortable being home.
Yeah.
See, that's a good note. Let's end it here. Let's end it here.
Yeah, we had to turn it
Another
around, so I
topic,
wanted
man.
to
It's like
share
making me
that.
all bummed. No, I
Um,
always like it when we
she
come.
said come to Atlanta,
I
ATL.
should take a road trip with my boys. You guys haven't seen my boys in a minute. I should just be like, yo, let's just pile on the truck and let's just drive down.
Just drive down. We did that a couple
Yeah.
years ago. We went down to
I
Atlanta
know.
for
We should. We should
Thanksgiving.
do
That's a
it. Just
drive,
crash and just
man.
all.
That's
We
a
got the
drive.
tent now. If we do it now in the summer, the kids will just sleep outside.
That's true. Yep, we'll have both tents side by side.
Yeah, just let the kids stay outside and just go do a nice family trip. That's another thing. Like we haven't done a family trip, and
Hmm.
we live right here. We have the
She
blessing
is
of
saying
like
it road
being
trip.
so
Road
close, and like we haven't been on a trip.
trip.
It's like those are the things. Like life is so short, and yet people don't do that. Like we don't. Like I have. Like you have friends on Facebook. When's the last time you seen those friends on Facebook?
Right.
Like I always thought that this would be a great idea for a YouTube channel where someone would just be like, "Yo, Facebook has been around for this long. I've had Facebook for this long, and all these people on here. I'm gonna go take a road trip, and I'm gonna see every single person I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then each clip is somebody new that they see on their road trip,
Yeah.
because it's like, for something that's supposed to connect us, we're so disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, I'm seeing more and more posts, because as we get older, and more people are passing away, and I'm seeing more and more posts where it's like, why are family gatherings when there's a funeral?
Yeah.
Let's have more family gatherings when we're alive. Let's enjoy each other.
Yeah.
So
There's
I'm
usually,
all
there's
for that.
usually
Let's
two
take that road
reasons,
trip.
either a funeral or a wedding.
Yeah.
Everybody
Which
comes
weddings are
together.
dope? So who's getting married? Gigi, you getting married? Cuzzo, you gotta get married so we can come and party. Let's get turned.
But
Turn it
so
to 11.
imagine doing laundry by hand. No, thank you. No,
I
thank
mean,
you.
I have.
So this was my first
Yo, you don't do
house.
laundry by hand?
This is
Yo,
my
that's
first house where I have a washer and dryer and a dishwasher. Like I have so many appliances right now, and let me tell you, I love my house. I don't care how small it is. I don't care like what I don't have. The fact is, I do have a lot, and like my appliances are they're lifesavers, man.
Lynn is spoiled, by the way. Lynn is very spoiled, by the way. So when she hears the conversations of being spoiled, you can see her face. She turns away and she's like, "I'll stay quiet until Ray goes onto a different rant." Oh. Tadashi, yes,
Yeah, that's
yes, yo,
pretty cool. He's
Tadashi is my
planning on
soulmate.
building a house. I mean,
Tadashi is my
a camper
soulmate,
van.
man. He says everything I've been saying. Yes, that's exactly what you should do.
Mhm.
Honestly, don't be attached to a house that's just in one location. If you're just like a single dude, get your van, go out there and live life, man. Enjoy
Yeah, be a
life.
nomad. Move
Yeah, be a
around.
nomad. Especially if you're going into cloud. Yo, as soon as you get paid, get the van and just you get Elon Musk satellite internet and just go see the road, man. It's a beautiful country. And
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. I think a lot of people they see like just hatred because that's what's on TV, but they don't really
Mhm.
hit the road, and they don't really go see all these small towns, and they don't
Yeah.
go see what makes America great. They don't go international like Lynn travels, right? And she
Hmm.
doesn't see like all these other countries and the things that they makes them great, and the fact that they're not like us. Like they see us and they're like, why are you guys so complaining all the time?
Hmm.
You guys are a bunch of spoiled kids, right? So like, yes, if you yeah, the tiny house too. I
Yeah.
see
She
those
wants
things are
what?
so awesome. I love it when they take the shipping containers and they make a home out of it. Yo, all that stuff is so dope. When
Yeah.
when somebody takes like one of those sheds from like Home Depot
Oh,
and
and
they
they make
put
a
it in
she
a
shed.
plot, and then they make they make like a house out of it. They'll go and they'll be like, all right, so this is like 70% of it. Now we gotta fix all this stuff, and they add the plumbing, and they make like a real tiny home out of it.
Hmm.
Like I don't think you need so much space to be content. Like me, if anything, I feel like once my kids move out of this house, I'm selling it. I'm getting like a
Yeah.
small little closet.
Yeah. You don't need a
Just
lot of
small,
space, and you don't need a
less
lot of
space.
things. Life is
Mm-hmm.
about the memories you make.
Yes. That's why I tell you I want a boat. And if I
Hmm.
can't get the boat, I'm right there with Tadashi. I want the van, man. I want to go and travel.
She said it. They make them look so dope. I want a Home Depot
Yeah, the
home.
Home Depot home. Yeah, look those up. I'll be watching it on YouTube all the time. That's like my rabbit hole. I'll be like going down. I do the van life. Then I look at the tiny home. I'm looking
Hmm.
at the shipping containers. I'm looking at all that shit. You're gonna be like, I'll be like the next Waldo. Where's Ray? He's in that shipping container over there.
Buzz asked if there's any delays at the airport. So leaving, I went through Newark. I love flying in and out of Newark. It's like it's not inside the city, there's parking, like it's convenient. So
Newark,
leaving
yeah,
from
Newark is dope.
Newark, we were good, no delays, uneventful flight.
I'll be right.
Flying back from DR, so we had separate flights. We flew United and the other family we were with flew JetBlue. So we got to the airport. We both had like 1:30 flights. I think theirs was like 1:25 and ours was like 1:35. They took off at 1:25. They were on track, JetBlue, landed home early. They went about their day. Our flight from 1:35 was pushed back to 2:15. And then it was like 2 o'clock and we weren't boarding. And I was like, we're not pulling out. There's no way. There's no way. 2:15. No way. So then they changed it to like 2:40. So there was a delay. I think we ended up being delayed in total about an hour and 15 minutes. We got out, it was close to 3 when we finally took off. And that was kind of nerve wracking too. I was like, shit, are they gonna cancel our flight? Are they gonna say like, hey, like you're stuck here another day? I don't know. It was one of those small airports and it's just up in the air. It's a coin toss. A lot of people have been experiencing delays and cancellations. And the buzz is that there's no pilots. Like they need more pilots. They
Hmm.
need more staff on the
Well,
planes.
what is going on is because of the vax mandate, a lot of
Mhm.
pilots was like, we're out. So now they're overstaffed. I'm hearing like pilots are like
Ooh,
constantly hitting their hours because they can only fly a certain amount of
certain
hours.
amount of hours. Yeah,
So they're doing like 12-hour shift, and then these flights are getting canceled because they have no pilots.
yeah. She said that in Atlanta too, everything's getting
Hmm.
canceled. It's everywhere. Everyone's feeling it.
And there was an article that just popped up that there was like I think it's like 40,000 servicemen who are going to be discharged because they refuse to take the vax.
Wow,
So it's that pilots and all this. It's like you're creating
which
this
is
kink in this whole
crazy.
system.
how are
So now
you
think
how are you pushing like these demand how are you demanding people take this vaccine when it's so new? It's so
and
new.
the crazy thing to me is the whole cognitive dissonance of the fact like these people are saying like, oh, my body, my choice when it comes to abortion, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then they could just turn around and say, no, you got to take the vax. So now I'm like, okay, so you're not really pro-choice, you're pro-abortion then.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep having this discussion on Facebook, and people are just losing their shit. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, no, because you're a contagion, you're getting people sick. I'm like, the only people at this point that I should be getting sick, if you're a vax work, is the unvaccinated.
Right.
People who choose not to get vaccinated, right?
Right.
So once again, where is your logic? If it's my body, my choice, I should choose not to, put this in me, or at least wait, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting. I want
Mm-hmm.
to see what the side effects are. Is that
Right.
too much to say? Is that too much to ask for? But no, you lose your job. So now look at all this stuff that's happening. Flights are getting canceled, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
getting supply chain issues because that's part of it too.
Yeah, that's why
All
our
this
prices are going
there
up.
was a
The
yeah, there was a
demand is still
mass
there. The
exodus
demand
of the
hasn't
workforce.
changed. It's the supply. Mm-hmm.
Right. So now you created all these problems when you could have simply said, hey, if you choose to get vaccinated, it's free. It's at your local places. Get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. But
Yep.
like I said,
Body
it's going to get
autonomy
worse before it gets
autonomy
better.
when it fits the
It fits
narrative.
the narrative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's all about the narrative. You got to understand that the news is not the news anymore. It's a form of entertainment. It's a sick
Mm-hmm.
form of entertainment because it really makes people fearful, but that's what it is. They're content creators. They're not newscasters anymore. It's all opinionated. It's all what they want you to believe. It's all their narrative.
I
Yeah.
saw a meme the other day. It was like, oh, like if you're a woman, your rights don't matter. You don't get no rights. If you're if you're gay, you don't deserve rights. You get no rights. If you're if you're an old person, you don't have any rights. No rights for you. But if you're an unborn fetus, you deserve rights. You've got rights. Like we're so worried about, oh my God, the unborn children. What about, everybody who already is here, who is quality of life is poor. What about them? Nope. Nope. Everybody's like, oh my God, let's focus on abortion. That's the biggest issue right now. Like, come on. It's a joke. Politics are a joke.
It's about
Exactly. It's
control.
about
Yes.
control.
It's
You know?
always been about control. Yes, it's always been
You
about
know?
control, and that's why they force the vax. It's
Mm-hmm.
why it's all about control, and it's also it's in a way in a weird sick way they want us attacking each other. Like they want me
Yeah.
to hate you, Lynn, because you're a woman, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then they want you as a woman to hate me because I'm a man, right?
Ultimately, divided we fall.
Divide,
There's
right?
power
Divide and
in
conquer.
unity, and
Divide
you
and
can't
conquer.
you
Yes.
can't control us if we were all
Right.
connected, all standing
So the
together, all
right.
united.
Exactly. So the
Divide and
politicians get their
control.
power through division. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
That I think I
Exactly.
honestly believe that's the reason why there's so much focus on the
Hmm.
isms, the dividing issues, things that you
Yes.
can
Thank
take a
you.
side with. It's
I keep
because
saying
like
that.
when we're divided, we're weak.
Hmm. Yes.
Hmm? The more we
The
divide,
more we
the more
divide it, the
control
more.
they
Yep.
have. Yep.
Amen. Amen. I see, and that's why I'm glad. I'm glad because like when you see things on Facebook, and I know I post things on Facebook, and I know I turn a lot of people off, and that's okay.
Hmm.
But you know what? I didn't know my cousin felt this way.
Hmm.
So if I didn't speak out, if we didn't do this channel, and we're not saying things,
Hmm.
right? I'm gonna stay silent. She's gonna stay silent. There's a lot of people who think like this who are staying silent because they don't want to what they don't want to what rock the
You don't
boat,
want to be
right?
canceled. Yeah, you don't want to rock
Right,
the boat. You don't want
exactly.
to be in
But
the
you know what?
spotlight.
We start speaking about it and we see that we have more of a voice, and that's where we come together. It's like, no, no,
Hmm.
no, no. I'm not gonna let you divide us. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. Because we are stronger when we are together.
Hmm.
We are stronger when we are a community. And it's like, you know what? We don't need you, government. Go away. And that's what they're scared of. We can
Yeah.
police ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. So that's the reason why, like, I'm cool with the whole Roe v. Wade because it's like it's giving the power back to the states.
Hmm.
And now, if you're giving the power back to the states, let's give us the power for everything else, and let the states start controlling. Because now that's a smaller piece where the people can then come together and say, "Hey, we want this, this, and this."
Yeah.
You know. So
See,
I'm
but
all
also
for
you
going
also
back to
have to think
community.
about it though. If we're giving all the power back to the states, we're gonna have things like Texas, where they want to be their own. They want to separate from the U.S.
But that's the reason why
So
they want to separate.
there's that line that we have to be careful of. Like we have to be united,
But the
as the
reason
United
why
States. We need to, we need a bigger sense of community too.
But let's take a step back. The reason why Texas wants to separate is because there's blue states that's telling them what to do, and they don't really believe in that whole mindset and that narrative.
Hmm.
So if we go back to that whole decentralized government, where we're like, hey, look, Texas, we understand you're in a different location than us.
Hmm.
You do laws your way, then they'll be more open to be part of the United States. And once again, it all goes back to trade. It's like,
Hmm.
look, I get it. I may not understand with what you're doing over there, but I gotta trade with you because you're farmland, right? And you gotta trade with us, whatever. That's how it should be.
Right.
It's like we as the United States, we may not agree with what Russia's doing, but they got resources, and we should have that open trade, and that's what
Hmm.
keeps peace. So I'm all for that decentralized government. At some point, I say down with the federal government.
Tadashi said, divide and rule. That's the British tactics.
Yeah, and we fought
That's
that.
our history.
We fought that. So
Yeah, that's our history. That's
yeah,
where it says like history repeats itself. Like we
come
have to
on,
look where
history
we come
runs.
from. How
Yeah,
did we become the United States? How did
yeah.
we, come to be liberals and, believing that we have this grand opportunity, this land of opportunity? We have to look back at where we come from.
And if you look at what the forefathers who created this country, this beautiful country that we're living in, one of the most amazing countries that there is, right? As much as people want to tell you that it's horrible, it sucks. Oh, no, it's not. It's the land of opportunity. I believe that.
Mhm.
This is a
It
beautiful
truly
country.
is.
And if we went back to what they designed, how they designed it, they meant for the states to govern themselves. They didn't meant
Mhm.
for the federal government to be this big. That's the reason why we have the Second Amendment, because when it got that big, we were supposed to, take out the pew pews
Yeah.
and be ready to fight. Fight for what? For our freedoms, our rights, our liberties as an
Mhm.
individual. So it's like the fact that the federal government got so big to the point where it's like we got to change that. We got to change that, and we change that how through the community. You know.
And, like fighting for the right to have like, freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of all this. A lot of people are kind of portraying it in an arrogant way of, oh, well, I could say whatever I want. No, shut up, Karen. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what it's for. It's
But you know why they're arrogant? Because they're not part of a community. That goes
mm,
back to that. If they were
okay,
part of a community, they would know, like, look, I care about it's just a simple thing. You know, the whole simple analogy, like, oh yeah, you got freedom of speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater.
right.
Somebody who has a sense of community is not going to do that. I'm not going to do that,
Hmm.
right? What am I gonna do? If there's a fire, I'm gonna help people, right? Like,
Yeah.
yo, okay, yo, here's the exits. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get out of here. Even if it's not my kids, if whoever it is, I'm gonna make sure because that's a sense of community.
Hmm.
You know, it's like over the weekend, I met up with one of my friends at the arcades, round one at the mall,
Hmm.
and we were there. And I told them about the time play. So just through us, our kids, we had 3 cards, and those 3 cards, the time play, you tap to any machine and you get to play.
Hmm.
So it didn't matter whose card was being tapped, the kids were getting to play. And that was a sense of community right there. But then we took it one step further. And this is one thing that I started doing with my kids. There's these like Minecraft cards. There's a game, it's a Minecraft game where when you play, you get this new card, and the card, you put it in the game, and it gives you an item in the game.
Hmm.
So my youngest, I always bring the cards so I can say, hey, look, there's a little boy playing. Go help him get the items in the game. Because the game only gives you 1 card per turn, right?
Hmm.
He already has like 4 of them. So he can give him like a dope ass armor, dope ass weapon, a pet, all this crap, right? It doesn't matter, but it would matter to a little boy when you're playing a game, right? Or a little girl playing a game, and some random kid comes up and is like, yo, I got you, and gives you all the stuff, right? So
Yeah.
he did that, and it was a really cool moment because when he went to help the little boy was like, hey, wait, I got you. Jump in the game and come play with me. And he
Hmm.
used his money to get my son into the game, and they started playing. And that to me is what a sense of community is. Like
Yeah.
that is so fucking beautiful that kids can do that, and that's
Yeah.
that innocence that kids have that they can always come around and they'd be like, "Yo, you're my friend." That's how kids are, right? You
Yeah.
can take them to the pool and they're like, "Oh, this is my friend," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hey, what's up, friend?" Right? And if you got it, you break bread with friend, right?
Yeah.
And that right there. That is exactly what I want through this channel, through everybody. Just walk away and just have that sense of community.
Hmm.
Let's just stop with all the hate and let's start with loving, right? I love you for who you are. That's it. That's
That's what
my
it's about.
takeaway. That's my take.
All right, guys. We're actually gonna close out on that note. We ran over. We ran over. Oh,
We
Tris is
did. We
here though.
did.
I
We
want to say,
started
hey,
late.
Tris, welcome. I'm glad you got to
Oh,
jump in
what's
here
up,
at the end.
Tris? Full house today. Oh man, this is an
Hmm.
epic episode. Oh, I love it. Thank you
Everyone's
guys. Thank you
here.
everybody. Yo, if
Real
you
quick.
started
So real
watching
quick,
us from
what
the
Tris is
very
going into
beginning,
though. I don't want to go into
okay, go
something
ahead.
else
Go.
though. Oh, I don't know what to
Okay, go ahead. Go
do.
ahead. Go ahead. Because I thought we were closing out. My bad.
We are closing out. We are closing out. But let me just read Tris's comments because he's in here. He
Okay.
says there are only 3 states that can go off by themselves and make it: California, New York, and Texas. California being the 5th largest economy in the world.
I
Think
don't.
about
I
that.
don't think. I don't think so because honestly,
Excuse me.
New York and Cali. Think about where they get most of the stuff that they produce.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got to
The
realize if you're
flyover
gonna go
states, man.
off by yourself,
Cali's pretty
it
far.
yeah. If you're gonna go off by yourself, you got to produce everything that you need within your
Yeah,
state, and
it
so that's
has.
food. Now, granted, New York has farmlands, and most of the food that they create in those farmlands, because we live by that. We see
Mm-hmm.
all that, all the
We
black
drive
dirt, all
past it
the
all the
migrant
time.
farm workers, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. All that food that they're making is actually going to New York City, because a lot of these like high scale restaurants require what
Fresh,
fresh
fresh
produce,
produce, fresh, yeah, fresh
right?
ingredients.
But could New York could they farm and sustain their own so that if they broke away they could survive? I don't know. And honestly, I don't want that. I want the United States to be the
To
United
be
States, but I want
united.
us to be
Yes.
decentralized. Just let some I don't know who it is, some, like the flyover states, right? Let them
Mm-hmm.
be their states. If they understand what they do, let them do what they do.
Right.
I don't understand it. I don't live out there, but I shouldn't dictate what I understand locally for me over
Yeah.
for a state that
And
that just
things
doesn't
are
understand.
different. Things are different
Right,
here than in, Kansas or
right.
I don't even know all the states that are in the middle. North
Yeah,
Dakota,
I
South
don't know.
Dakota.
I don't know, but I don't want to tell them. In Pennsylvania, I don't want to tell people what to do. I really
Yeah.
don't. I just, like I said, I don't even know Pennsylvania, and that's another thing. Like you should know your state, whatever
Hmm.
state you're living in, you should know it. Like you should know the people in your state. You should know that. Like I know I'm talking very hyperbolic. I know it. I'm not gonna know everybody in Pennsylvania, but I should know. I should know my neighbors,
Hmm.
right? I should go out there. I should start talking to people.
Yeah.
But that's
You
that sense of
act
community.
locally and think globally.
Yes.
You know,
And there's a whole push.
you have
That's
to
why I love
do
that whole new
in your
push.
backyard what you want to see in the world.
Right. And there's the whole push of buy local, buy local, buy local. I see it all the time.
Hmm.
I'm all for it. But I think we should take that one step further. Like Lynn said, I think we should say think local because we don't. We don't think
Hmm.
like that.
All right, guys, have a beautiful week.
Trish, thank you for
Um,
joining us. I hope to see you all. I hope to see everybody, all my family. I hope to see you all on
yeah, see
Thursday.
you guys all on
Thursday is going to be the
Thursday.
light show going into the weekend. But if we don't see you guys, please, please, please stay blessed and please have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, and just enjoy life. I know we have these conversations, but please just walk away with that positive, just that positive vibe. Put a
Hmm.
smile on your face. Hey, everybody doesn't go. They got more comments. There's more comments on the comments.
Right.
So you gotta read the comments before you close out.
All right. So she was watching from work, said thanks for hanging out while she's working. Tris, no country is truly out there on their own. That's true, man. It's one word, one earth, one earth.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Tadashi, have a nice day, guys. Peace and love from Cheek. Thank you so much for the love, guys.
Oh,
We
thank
always
you.
love it.
Oh,
We
that's
love seeing you guys
awesome.
in the comments, chatting with us, interacting with us. That's what it's about. That's why we do this.
We gotta grow this. We gotta grow. We're
Yeah.
seeding. We're watering right now, Lynn. We're watering it. We just gotta let the little bud poke out, and then just a beautiful little tree, a tree of life.
Mhm. All right, guys. Take care.
Love you guys. Talk to you guys.